I don't really have a response to that. I'm mostly concerned about people dying in the Middle East.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about that then, because apparently you just don't want to engage in any conversation at all that I brought up. You just don't even want to engage at the point.
I just told you. I mean, I concede the point. So, like, you win that point. We can move on.
I don't even know what that means. You conceded. What does that even mean? I'm just
Like,
asking what your
I don't
thoughts
have an
are on the
argument for
matter.
you on that. I don't have an opinion.
I should kick you because you're just like being ridiculous. Topher,
Well,
thank you
I
so much
want
for
to
the
talk about
$20.
like
Thank you, Topher. I really
issues
appreciate it. Thank
like
you.
war and people dying.
Okay, go ahead. Topher, thank you for the $20.
So,
Thank you.
I think as far as like worldview, right? Like I think you need a scary person in office.
Okay, how is Trump scary?
Because he's a wild card. Like you don't know what he's gonna do. So it's sort of like when you have a like he's less predictable essentially.
That's not necessarily a good thing. That's actually worse for markets in general, and then also predictable in what capacity? Because clearly Putin predicted his moves. Putin
Yeah, sure,
predicted them
fair
very
enough.
easily.
But
Putin literally conned the fuck out of him.
yeah, I mean, like when you think about like I know you guys talk about this like the idea of making like a Silicon Valley out there, but I actually don't think that's a bad idea. Like if you
Making a
simply
what?
like if you basically make the strip the Silicon Valley, right?
You're so
You
fucked. Get the fuck off my stream. You're advocating of annexing the Gaza Strip and turning it into Silicon Valley is fucking disgusting. Fuck that person. I clicked the wrong button, by the way. What the fuck, dude? That's so gross, dude. Yo, what's up? How old are you? So the next person, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Cookie King Mogsy, bro. I'm not even kidding.
Emily, thank you for the subscription. Thank you so much. I am feeling a lot better in terms of like I was sick prior. I am feeling a lot better now. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Let's go to the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request. Again, if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Kimberly, thank you for the $5. Kimberly, thank you so much. Alrighty. Let's get the next person up here. Again, it's not accepting this person, so let me try to get the next person. We're about 2 hours into the stream, everyone. Meaning we have about another 2 hours left. We have about 2 hours and 20 minutes left, so we're about halfway into the stream, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Oh. They just added, like, literally after they were gone. Emily, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Okay, it's not accepting this person either. Let me try the next. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Hello? Bro, what is up with people sending requests? What's going on? Is it like everyone like on like a million ping? Everyone is literally like not connecting. Oh, I literally hear him and he's not even in the stream. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, 28.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
What's your birth year?
97.
97? Okay, so why do you support Trump?
One of the biggest things that I like about him is like the whole Maha movement, which I know maybe was a little bit of a political move for him, but it's something I really do like that he went with at least.
Okay, can you name one qualification that RFK has for being in the position he is, the head of the HHS?
Not necessarily, but I do like his ideas.
So he has no qualifications.
Not that I know of, no.
So why do you want unqualified individuals to be the head of the HHS to deal with health and human services when they have no clue how to deal with health and human services because they have no specialization in the matter?
I'm sure that he probably has a lot of good people around him that he's listening to.
Really? Well, he
Because
says that
I like the
vaccines.
ideas.
He,
Like,
he just recently said Tylenol causes autism, and that vaccines cause autism, which have no basis in evidence.
well, I don't know if it does. Does it? Do we
No,
know?
there's no evidence. There's zero.
Is there evidence of the government suppressing information?
Misinformation, if there is. Where do they even
Okay.
suppress that?
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely corporate capture of like the CDC and places that have a lot of like information that puts things out there like that.
Okay, okay.
So
So then
I mean,
there's
I will
currently
admit I am
corporate
like a
capture under
vaccine
Trump's
skeptic.
admin.
Do what?
There's currently corporate capture under Trump's admin.
Oh, probably. I mean, I am a Trump supporter, but I do admit that like the government is captured by a lot of corporate, like like big pharma.
No,
Like
you're
it's the
being
biggest.
ridiculous.
Like,
You're being
why
ridiculous.
am I being ridiculous?
Because there's no evidence indicating that vaccines cause autism, and you're just trying to come up with some explanation to say that there's a conspiracy that that's
I j-
true as well. You could also, based upon the same context, just essentially say whatever you want, right? It's like the same as saying that vaccines give you 5G.
is it? Well, I don't know about that, but I at
You
least
don't
like that they're
know?
studying it. I don't know about the 5G stuff. I'm just talking about like vaccines. Like I think it's a good that they're at least looking into it. Why are kids like 1 in 31 kids have autism now? 1 in 40 kids has autism now, wherein it used to be like 1 in 10,000.
Because it is the case that we have better determination specifically to diagnose people with autism. That's
Do
it.
you see older people with autism? Like
Yes.
80-year-olds, 70-year-olds with autism? I don't see a
Yes,
whole
but
lot.
they are just not met under the same criteria, right? So it is the case that as they're younger generations, the reason why we specifically, by the way, people who are older were vaccinated as well, but the people who are younger specifically, it's because they are more likely because we have the technology that's better now. We have better conditions specifically in terms of education for doctors in terms of the specialization in dealing with specifically like what are the criteria of how to identify whether or not someone has autism, right? Throughout history, right, there hasn't been the
Right.
same level of doctors understanding that. It was considered more niche historically speaking, and then throughout time, right, has become more prevalent in understanding. So that's why.
I understand. I
Charles,
mean,
thank you
I
for the five
understand that
dollars
we're
and for the
more.
dollar. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm happy that we can make it better. And I'm so sorry to hear that that happened. I'm so sorry. You were saying?
Yeah, like I understand that like we have more research on it, like we know more about it, so we can like diagnose it better. But it is just crazy to see how many kids has autism these days. And let
One,
me well,
I don't think
just
that
like
like
vaccine,
this
there's
this
like
is not like
so
something.
many.
I don't like when people say this because I don't think this is like a bad thing that people have autism. Like I don't think that's like
I'm
a
not
bad
like a
like
vaccine hater, by the way.
autism like is viewed in a way in which it's very stigmatized, and I don't think it should be stigmatized in that way.
I'm not a vaccine hater, by the way. I think that like vaccines are a good thing. It's led us to like have higher, like we live a lot longer because we've gotten rid of a lot of disease and stuff, polio, all that. So I'm not like arguing against vaccines. I'm just like, why is it bad to be like skeptical of it, like criticize it? I guess.
Because you're not
Why is it a
actually
bad
like
thing?
acknowledge. You're not using science. You're not using any evidence.
Why
Skepticism
are
is
we hating
important in
on RFK
science.
for doing more research on it? Why are we
He's not.
hating on that?
They're gutting the research. They've cut cancer funding research. They've got the funding for the World Health Organization. They've got regulations on PFAS. They've got so many different environmental regulations. What are you talking about? They're not funding more in terms of research. They've cut research.
You don't think that they're? I mean, I just like the fact that they're
What
looking
more
into all
research
of
have
this
they
stuff.
done?
Like cancer has gone up dramatically. Like it's not working.
They
Whatever we're
have cut.
doing, it's not
They have
working.
literally cut cancer research. They
Okay.
have fuck.
So
They have cut. I can't even speak. They have cut funding for cancer research. I try to say cut and funding at the same time.
you're good. You're good. I mean, I don't know. I just like what's the reason of giving my newborn like a hepatitis B vaccine? Like, I just don't understand.
If doctors indicate that it's effective, you should do that because it is the case that it's going to be helpful for the kid in terms of their development.
Why?
I'm pretty sure that's
If
probably
they test
related
the
to
moms
heart
for
health. I'd have to
hepatitis
go
B,
check. Yeah, the doctors indicate this to be true and that it's helpful.
that's not specific. Like, I'm a parent. Tell me why I need to vaccinate my kid with hepatitis. If they've already tested my
It
wife,
keeps
she's
them
negative.
safer.
Why? No. Hepatitis B, it's spread through IV drug use and sexual activity. My kid is not having sex or doing IV drugs, so why? Like, I just don't understand.
You said B?
Yeah, hepatitis B, it's spread through IV drug use. It can be given like through the mom.
So
Or, like,
vaccination
sexual activity.
rates for children. Okay. Um. Here we go. More than 250 million people around the world have hepatitis B, making it one of the most common blood-borne infections. In the U.S., some 2 million people have it, and a relatively low number compared to other countries. That's due to long-standing recommendations in the U.S. that children be vaccinated as babies and requirements by most states that children be immunized to enroll in daycare or school. Many people think of hepatitis B, HPV. Let me see. Here we go. Many people think of hepatitis B, also called HBV, as a sexually transmitted disease or one associated with illicit drug use. However, there are other ways people can become infected, including from an infected mother to her baby, where the delivery is through vaginal birth or C-section. Babies can also develop hepatitis B infection through contact with other infected persons' bodily fluids, such as a family member's blood, touching a break in the baby's skin, or their nose, mouth, or eyes. However, hepatitis B is generally not spread through casual contact. People such as healthcare workers, family members or of an infected person, and those traveling to countries with high rates of disease may also be at risk of contracting the illness through exposure to blood or bodily fluids.
So why is my baby at risk for getting that? If the
Some
mom
studies
doesn't have it?
have shown as many as half of the people who have the disease don't know they have it, which can contribute to its spread, which is why testing and prevention are vital.
So yes, testing the mother. So
Wait,
if the
wait,
mother
I
doesn't
just
have it,
gave
then
you
the baby's not
examples.
going to have it.
Again,
What
but
examples?
they
'Cause if
wouldn't
we're
know. So
testing the mother,
if you want to do that, provide sources or resources to do that. But that's not the only way in which they would specifically be in contact with it.
so what other ways is the baby going to be in contact to get?
When
Hepatitis
babies
B.
become infected with hepatitis B, they can suffer from serious liver damage and have about a 90% chance of
If
developing
they
a
have
lifelong chronic infection, according to the CDC.
If they have it, but that's why we test mothers beforehand.
But wouldn't you want to reduce the likelihood of this in society?
I mean, babies like my infant, they're wanting to give him like 3, 4, 5 shots like right out of the gate. Like I just don't.
Good.
I don't think their immune system can handle that. And
That helps.
like
Wait, well, I'm
hepatitis
sorry.
B, there's
How are you
no-
to determine that? Are you a doctor? Do you have any medical background?
I'm a registered nurse. Like
You're an RN, and you don't believe
Yes.
vaccines are effective. Come on, bro.
I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying all vaccines are bad. I'm just saying why are we pushing on like specifically hepatitis B? Just give me a couple good reasons. If the mom's negative, why? Just why?
I
understand.
just gave you multiple explanations. It's not just through the context of
But if the mother's negative,
that's not the only
you
that's
still
not the
wanna
only
give to 'em?
connotation. I gave you other connotations that they could specifically have they could
Not
get
spread
harmed
through
by that.
casual contact, right?
You said it's
it's
not
not spread
common,
through
but that
casual
doesn't mean that it
contact.
isn't a risk.
So what's the other reasons that they would get it?
I just told
Sexual
you there was
activity
risks.
and IV drug use.
I just told you that there was risks, right? And I gave you the points. It's not common, but it's a risk. And do you want to reduce the risk or do you want to increase the risk?
I want to reduce the risk. But
What are the
if
harms
the
from getting
mother's
the
not going
vaccine?
to pass it
Can you tell me
on,
what are the harms from getting the vaccine?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just a vaccine skeptic. So I think
Are
doing
you
more
skeptical with
research
the
is
polio
good.
vaccine?
I'm not skeptical with that.
What about the measles?
I don't think I'm skeptical with that either.
What about the
I mean,
COVID vaccine?
I'm telling you, I'm not like I'm
What
not
about
against all
what about
vaccines.
the
I'm
COVID
just saying, like,
vaccine?
yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
For
so
kids,
do you know what a bibliography is?
yes.
What is it?
I don't know why we should be giving our kids COVID
Do you know what a
vaccines when kids
bibliography
are,
is?
like,
You said yes. What is a bibliography?
You mean like, okay, educate me.
there's a works cited page in my bio. Click on the link tree in my bio. You can click on this the sources page, and it will take you to a thing that says vaccines. You click on that. 30 plus pages of peer-reviewed studies and systematic reviews that indicate the effectiveness, the safeness, and the effectiveness of just the COVID vaccine. I'm serious. Look at the bibliography
For kids?
the sources for kids, for adults across the board. And this is internationally based studies. This is not specifically just in the United States. This is across the board determining this to be true. So I would love for you to go check that out. As an RN, you should already know not only what a bibliography is, but you should know about these sources about the COVID vaccine. And the fact that people who are RNs are skeptical about that really concerns me.
Well, the thing with like going through school and everything, all they tell you is vaccines are good. They don't give you any like data or anything. They're just like, especially for the hepatitis
They do.
B, like,
They give you
yep,
data. That's just
as
not
soon as-
true. Come on.
No, I've been through RN school. They don't tell you
Really?
that stuff.
That must have been
Trust
specifically
me.
your area because my mom was an RN. Okay. My
Okay.
mom definitely learned about the effectiveness of vaccines. Okay. That's ridiculous.
But we don't give like, they don't actually give us like a bunch of sources and stuff. They tell us that. They tell us it's good, but they don't give us specifics. We don't do like
Yes, they
research
do.
on it or anything. They
do.
just tell us.
You can
it.
research yourself. Didn't they teach you how to research?
They did, but that's not something
Okay,
we
if they teach
researched.
you how to research, then you can research that yourself, right?
I mean, sure, but I've never done that.
And
We're
like, there's
too
no
busy.
way you went through school without once hearing about studies that demonstrate the effectiveness of vaccines, like especially like
Oh,
COVID
sure.
one.
Sure, but we don't like actually look at studies. They just tell us about it for the most part.
In nursing school, you have got to look at studies.
Yes.
I'm sorry, don't you have to do reports?
Oh yeah, we look at plenty of studies, but I'm talking about vaccines in general, just vaccines specifically. I mean, you would think that, right? But they don't.
What
You
do
would think that we
mean?
would like really hone down and like study vaccines, but we really don't. They just say, "Oh, yep, within the first 1 to 2 weeks, give them a hepatitis B vaccine."
If you've never done research on the efficacy of vaccines, how do you know they're ineffective?
That's you got me there, but they just don't. I don't know of many good reasons to give a hepatitis B vaccine.
I gave you that.
As a parent, they just make you feel bad because you don't want to
if
do
a
it right
baby
away.
if a baby gets it, they have literally a 90% risk. Let me repeat, a 90% risk, right? Of hold up. Wait, where was it? Oh, I literally just
But
lost
you're
it.
ignoring the fact that they're very, very
Hold up.
low likely of getting it.
The-
And if the mother doesn't have it, they're just not going to get it until they become an adult, which would be a good time to get a vaccine because you're more.
They have a
prone to getting
90% chance of
hepatitis B
developing a lifelong chronic infection.
if they get it.
Yeah. A lifelong chronic infection.
But again,
I'm
You're-
sorry, isn't
you're
that a
missing the
huge
point.
downside?
if they're doing screenings with the mother, like I just don't understand why we should be giving it.
Because if the baby gets it, they have a 90%
How are they gonna- they're not having
chance of
sex, they're
developing
not
a
doing
lifelong
drugs, like-
chronic infection.
But they're not. Are babies having
How about we
sex
do
and doing
both? How about we
drugs?
do both? How about we do both? How about we both test the parents and we also provide vaccines for the kids and babies?
I just think that we shouldn't be giving them unnecessary things.
This
Because
is necessary.
when it comes to
This is important.
vaccines,
Wait, when you say
it's a-
when you
it's
say
a dead
what do you mean?
virus
What do you mean by
vaccine.
necessary?
if it's a dead virus vaccine, you know what things they use in the vaccines to cause the
Wait, what do you
immune-
mean by necessary?
immune
Because
response?
wait, what do you mean by necessary? Because technically,
Necessary
no
would be
vaccine.
like for polio stuff like that. But
Wait. So what? How does polio meet the standard of necessary? Because isn't polio at a low risk for children to get?
it is.
Okay.
But we.
So why should children have to take the
isn't that why
polio
we don't have
vaccine under
polio?
your view? Listen, why should children have to take the polio vaccine under your view if it is the case that they're at a low risk to get polio?
That's a good question. I should ask myself
That is no. That is not a good question. That is a horrible. Dude, listen, they should totally get vaccinated to reduce the likelihood of them having fucking terrible types of chronic diseases in the long run. Lifelong chronic diseases. Lifelong chronic
I'm
infections.
not-
Lifelong chronic issues. Please, bro. This affects people to such an insane degree. Come on. And it's coming
Polio?
back to a greater extent because people aren't getting vaccinated, whether it be measles or polio.
Okay,
or those-
I wasn't arguing against that. You got me
You-
to
you
argue
just
against
did.
that, but I would.
I didn't get you to do that. You did that yourself, dude.
Okay, but I'm just talking about hepatitis B and specifically. I just don't understand.
I just
I
gave
don't
you an
understand.
explanation. 90% chance of developing a lifelong chronic
they're
infection.
not getting
Lifelong.
it. Babies
So
aren't
again, the
getting it.
same reason why you think that kids should have to get the polio vaccine, the same reason we do it with hepatitis B.
But they're just not getting. You're missing that point. If you're testing for it, and the mother's negative, they're not going to get it.
Yeah, if you test,
They're not gonna
again,
get
that's
it.
not true. I told you there are other ways they could get it.
Not.
I told you. I
I just
literally
don't believe
explained.
it. As a parent, they just make us. That y'all just make us feel crazy for giving this vaccine when we don't think that they need it.
No, we make
As
you
a parent,
feel
I think we
crazy
should have
because
that
you fucking
choice,
are
right?
crazy. You're an RN
What?
that doesn't believe in the effectiveness of vaccines.
Just some of them. I'm not arguing for all of them.
But you
I
didn't even look
think
at
we
the
should have
studies.
vaccines.
You didn't even look at the studies. You don't trust the medical consensus? The shit that you learned from? Like,
I
dude.
mean, I
Nah. Okay, so do you go to like, dude? What do you think you're doing at the as an RN, dude? You're using science
we're
every day, right?
mostly like passing meds. That's like we have to know about.
Oh,
the
how do you know
diseases,
what
we have to
meds
know
are
about
effective? How do you know what
medications.
meds are effective?
They pretty much just tell us beta blockers are for high blood pressure. This is for that.
And
That's
how do you
for
know
this.
that how do you know that those are useful in those circumstances?
Because they tell us, and we read them in our textbooks.
Do they tell
When
you
we're
that?
on the
Oh,
go
do the
and-
textbooks say that vaccines are safe and effective? Do the textbooks say that we should like
Yeah, the
have children
textbooks
take
tell
these
us.
vaccines? Yeah.
The textbooks do tell us, yeah.
Yeah, and you don't listen to the textbooks in that situation.
I mean for a registered nurse, yes, to get the right answer on the test, yes, we do follow that.
So you did learn it. You just chose not to actually take into account the information.
We learned what the textbook said. We want to get we do want to pass nursing school, so yes, we did put those answers on. I guess for the whole Maha movement, I like the fact that they're wanting to be more like, okay, diet, fitness, like let's do those things to prevent like
Wait,
hypertension.
why as a nurse do
Instead
you
of
want
just
someone
giving
who has
everyone-
no
everyone, like, blood
qualifications to be the
pressures?
head of the HHS? No
Do what?
qualifications, no medical qualifications. You want them to be the head of the HHS as an RN?
You're talking about RFK?
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly didn't like the previous HHS,
What was wrong with the previous HHS?
who just wanted to give everyone vaccines, everyone meds. Like RFK is like, hey, how about we like look into our diet, our lifestyle.
The head of the
fitness.
HHS wanted to ensure that people had meds and that people had vaccines. And you think that that's a bad thing?
Okay, say someone has hypertension.
RFK is an active threat towards public health.
Would you rather your doctor say, hey, how about we go to the gym a couple times a week versus like, oh, let's just give you this med? What do you think's a better choice?
It depends on what I need. I
mean,
would rather
I'm not arguing against blood pressure meds. Don't get me wrong. Like
I would
people
rather
need
the
them,
doctor indicate to me what to do based upon what's effective, based upon the science, right? And if they don't use the medical science, then I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm not gonna listen to
just-
them, and I'm gonna go to a real doctor. Okay?
It's just crazy to me. Like we preach like lifestyle habits, diet, all that stuff, but then we just like push meds on people.
You can do both simultaneously. You know that, right?
You can
And
do both, yeah, but,
meds
like-
have their use, and exercise has its use
For
as
sure,
well.
for sure. But they're not gonna like say, hey, you should do this. They're just gonna give you a pill because most of the time providers only have like 7
If you have
minutes with someone,
COVID,
so they're
just go to the gym. Is that what you're saying? No. Appreciate that, Olivia. Thank you for the
No,
membership
I'm not
or the
saying that. I
subscription.
didn't say that.
Come on, that's essentially what you're arguing, though, right? Like that going
No,
to the
I just
gym is
think-
more important than saying we need to provide meds for people who have COVID.
No, but the previous administrations, they were not like focusing on like fitness, lifestyle, getting good habits. They were focusing
sorry.
on like
Michelle Obama, remember when she did that? Remember how
Yeah, I like what she
Republicans
did with schools.
were so angry about that? They were pissed off. Republicans did not like Michelle Obama talking about exercise and like our children eating healthier.
I love that though. I love that. Like healthy lifestyle. I'm not arguing against that.
If you
I
want
don't like
to,
everything
how do you
that the
determine what's a
Republicans
healthy
do.
lifestyle? Science. Is RFK demonstrating science when he doesn't use science? No. Was the previous HHS actually indicating better stuff for science than what the HHS is doing right now? Yes. Come on, you should easily be able to answer these questions. As an RN, I'm serious, dude.
Okay, I specifically work in long-term care, so like all I'm doing is pretty much pushing meds on people. I'm not a doctor. I don't do all the research behind this stuff. So, I gotta go. I appreciate your stuff. I watch you on Jubilee. I love to see it, but I do gotta go. I appreciate the debate
Can
though.
I ask you a question?
Yeah,
What is saline
I
solution? What makes up saline solution?
normal saline, like
Yeah, and
sodium chloride, 0.1% or 1.25%, something like that.
okay.
Like on the flush. Are you talking about that?
Just seeing. I'm just seeing base level stuff. Okay,
Okay, I pushed a lot of stuff.
for sure.
I appreciate you though. I like seeing your
Appreciate you.
stuff on Jubilee.
I appreciate you. I thought they were saying appreciate you at the very end. I'm sorry. I did just kick them off. Oops, I clicked that wrong button. Let's go on to the next person, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Carrie, thank you so much for pushing the $10. Thank you. Yes, babies often scratch themselves. And someone with an unknown microabrasion can kiss a baby and spread her HB. Sharing a toothbrush or razor can spread HB. Yes, literally. Hammer, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, literally, though. Laney, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you, Laney. I really appreciate it. NM, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. It's all evidence-based, literally, though. Rolian, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Valerie, thank you for the $1. I really appreciate it. Corinne, thank you so much for the $5. Cass, thank you again for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, though. Selena, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $1. Thank you. Thank you. I know, like every hour has been telling me that's actually nuts. Travis, thank you for the $1. I really appreciate it. Chi-Chi, thank you so much for the $5. Tara, thank you so much for the $8. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Kimberly with the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I think I'm completely caught up. Let me go on to the next person. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. If you're on YouTube, make sure that thumbs up, everyone. It will help get it out to more people. We have about a little less than 2 hours or so left on the stream, everyone. Just letting everyone know. A little less than 2 hours left on the stream for today, everyone. So make sure that thumbs up if you want to help support the content. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Let's go on to the next person, though, real quick. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
March.
Okay. And what year?
Sorry, what?
What year?
2006.
1906. Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Because he's getting the illegals out of the country.
Undocumented immigrants. Why do you want to get undocumented immigrants out of the country?
Well, because they came here, like, illegally.
Okay. So if someone breaks a crime, they should be held accountable for that crime, right? Or breaks the
Obviously.
law. Okay, so Trump should be held accountable for being a convicted criminal? He should be put in prison?
How is he a criminal?
He was convicted of 34
That is-
felonies.
Well, he wasn't, like, convicted of those.
He was.
No.
Yes, he was. He was convicted.
Do you have proof of that?
Yes. AP News, NPR, PBS, Reuters, Trump 34 felony convictions.
Okay, well, like, what were those for?
The 34, falsification of business records,
Yeah.
in the first degree, which is a Class C felony in the state of New York because of a predicate crime.
That is very different from people, like, coming to our country just to, like, take our jobs and stuff.
I
Like,
think they're trolling.
No, I'm not. I'm saying like
Undocumented
Trump, all he
so
did was,
immigrants aren't taking your jobs. Okay, they
well,
actually
they
provide
are.
more.
There's like 10 million or something that are just
What jobs are being taken?
like, I don't know, just jobs. Like people can't even get jobs anymore because
Well,
No, that's because of
there's
Trump's
no
admin.
job. Yeah, there's no job that just says job on it, so you have to like what job are you talking about? Because I want to know what sector of the economy is so influxed with undocumented immigrants that we have to get rid of them. Please tell me one
well,
sector.
my friend was trying to get a job at one of our local grocery stores and he couldn't because there was so many illegal immigrants that were just like taking the jobs.
So you're
Undoc-
saying that the manager that the manager told you we can't hire you because we have too many undocumented immigrants who are working here.
No, but they were saying that they couldn't hire him because there was just like so many people already having the jobs and he went in like
so
the
why don't
next
you
day.
blame the people hiring undocumented immigrants rather
Well,
than
I do.
undocumented immigrants
I do
themselves?
blame them. I think if you're illegal, you should not be able to get a job and I don't think that people should hire you because of that.
One, I think people should be able to get jobs. I don't think anyone in the country who's undocumented who hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime should be deported. I think it would be ridiculous to do that. What benefit do you think you get in our society from
Well, they already
deporting
committed a
people?
crime though because they came here.
No, but not a bad crime.
So just because it's not a bad crime doesn't mean it's not a crime.
No, I acknowledge it's a crime, but I acknowledge that it's not like a big issue, right? If someone hasn't committed a violent crime or a bad crime, I wouldn't give a shit. It's not a crime insofar as that someone should be deported.
So then why do you
Like,
care
do you care about
about Donald
trespassing
Trump's
if it's not a
felonies?
threat? Do you care about trespassing if it's not a threat to anyone's safety?
I mean, if someone like walks on my yard, I'm not gonna
Not
care
trespassing.
unless
I
it's like,
apologize. Not trespassing. I meant to say jaywalking. I apologize. Not
oh,
trespassing.
no, I don't care as long as they're not gonna get hit.
Okay, so then the point is that just because it's a crime doesn't mean that it's a big issue, right?
Well, I know, I mean, I don't really care about some of them because I know some don't do anything wrong and they're just coming here for like to like get benefits or whatever, but there's a lot of immigrants that just have committed bad crimes and they should be deported.
Okay, so undocumented immigrants commit multiple times lower rates of violent crime, drug crime, and property crime in the United States comparative to natural-born U.S. citizens.
That's not true.
It is true. Undocumented immigrants commit multiple times lower rates of violent crime, drug crime, and property crime. There's a bibliography in my bio set up by this guy right here that indicates that immigrants commit lower rates of crime, whether they're documented or undocumented.
Okay, but if they were never here in the first place, then those crimes would have never happened.
What? Say that again?
If they were never here in the first place, then the crimes would not have happened.
That's actually not true because based on these stats, a native born American probably would have committed those crimes. So
Yeah, to a
like
higher
actually
degree.
yeah. So like based on the stats.
Yeah, based on the stats, if more undocumented immigrants were in the country, they would be we would actually have a lower crime rate because there's a greater portion of the population that has a lower average likelihood of committing crime.
But that doesn't make sense because there's like so many other people here, and if they were not here in the first place, none of it would have happened. I get that
So
people that
that's the
have
same thing as
been
saying that
here.
like okay, so you're talking about the nominal rate of crime. So would you want to ban tourism? Because it is the case that if you ban tourism, well then the crime would have never happened because the tourists would have never been able to come here.
I don't understand.
So let's ban tourism because tourists commit crime, and if you ban tourism, you reduce the nominal level of crime.
If people are coming here to like for tourism, I don't feel like they're committing crimes because they're coming here legally. What's the point of people coming here
Chat.
illegally if they
Chat.
could
You have
just
to
come here legally?
TikTok. You have to tell me where'd you got that information from. Chat. Let me know where you got the information from. Don't just spam it in the chat, please. Because I
Why are they saying I'm 17?
Yeah, because they think you're underage. I'm asking them where they got that information from.
Where did y'all get that? See, none of them can even tell you because I'm not 17.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm talking to the chat right
I
now.
know, I'm not, I know.
Where on her page, chat? You gotta her other
There's
account.
nothing on her
If you
page.
guys can
There's
give
nothing on
me
her page.
proof.
The page that she's on right now, there's no videos on it, only reposts.
Well, yeah, because I don't post on this account.
Yeah,
I know.
so I don't know why
I'm
people
know,
are
I'm just
spamming that in the
saying.
chat.
Her other account.
I've got another account, but it's private.
Okay, so hey chat, I don't think we have enough reason to say this at this point, so
My other account is private, and it doesn't have anything on it that you would be able to find. So saying that I'm 17 is like a
go
lie.
ahead. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I don't really remember what we were talking about. Oh,
Crime and
tourism.
immigration.
Tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you think we should ban tourism?
I don't think tourism is a problem because, like, there's people that come here legally, right? They come here the right way. If you come here the right way, then it's more likely that you're not committing crimes. And if you
That's
do,
actually not.
then you should
That's
just go
actually
to
not true,
jail.
by the way. Okay, but hold on. His point was that if tourism, people coming here, does cause crime in like some cases, why don't we just ban all tourism in order to get rid of that crime?
Hey everyone,
I guess
don't
it
be
kind of.
looking at people's moms' Facebooks. That's crazy as fuck. If that's where you got the information from,
Did
please
they
do not
find
be
my
doing that.
mom's Facebook?
Just
I'm gonna kick you off right
Mabel,
now because I
just
don't want this conversation to
yeah.
keep going and for that to, you know, get more people to go and do that and try to look up that information. But what the fuck, chat? What the fuck? That's really annoying that people are doing that.
People can sound young, chat. Like some people think that I'm young because of my voice. Like I'll be honest, like people can sound young, but just because they sound young doesn't mean that they are. Like you
It's
have to have good
unhinged to
evidence
go and
for
look
it.
up someone's Facebook through their mom's Facebook and stuff like that's unhinged, bro.
Yeah,
Let's say
that's
they
like,
were underage. Like it's unhinged to go look for that information that way. Please don't do that on my stream. Please
Yeah.
don't do that on my stream. All right, we're going to go get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. That's the wrong button. I keep accidentally clicking that one. We're going to get some people up here. I just need to say thank you to some people real quick. Lovey, thank you so much for the $1. Yes, that would have been good. They said point out that this was the same logic used by white supremacists held and still do about specifically black individuals once civil rights acts were put in place. Literally, though. Yo, thank you so much, Lovey. I appreciate the $1. Thank you. Valerie, thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then Ermina, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I thank you, Andrew, for the $10. I don't know what I did to get $10, but thank you. I appreciate that a lot, Andrew. Very kind of you.
Ermina, thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Put some W's for them in the comment section right now. Incredibly kind of you. Thank you. W's for them in the comment section. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. The one and only. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you.
The one and only kitty. Cute.
Yes, literally, there are people. Yes, literally, though, that are coming the right way too. And he's also revoking their visas. He's detaining people without due process. It's so fucking crazy. Talking about denaturalizing people.
You'll see more roving patrols out there in LA now.
Yeah, I know
So,
that the
be prepared for
recent
that shit.
determination for the Supreme Court that they can fucking racially profile people.
I want to get into that so bad. I don't want to bore you, but like I want people to understand how crazy that fucking decision is because Brett Kavanaugh actually said
Fuck
that
you, Parker. Fuck you,
that-
Parker. Fuck you, Parker. Fuck you, Parker. Fuck you, Parker. Fuck you.
Sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
you're good. That we can use ethnicity as a factor in determining whether or not someone is undocumented in this country. Like, it can't be the sole factor, but it could be one of the factors. I'm sorry, that is batshit insane. Can you imagine applying that to any other group? Any other group? Like, I read that whole decision, by the way. It's like 40 pages. I read it, and it was each case was just it got more and more insane because the idea of using place of location, language, ethnicity, and other factors to say you have a reasonable cause that someone is undocumented. Like, I cannot imagine applying that to any other fucking person. Like, it blows my mind. And he tried to couch it in some fucking like, I feel for these people. I'm really sorry that they're in this. Bro, you're like determining the policy. Like, if you feel for them, why the fuck are you allowing it to happen? Like, I don't it was so bad. Like, it was just I could write a whole thing on it. Like it was just I was reading it and it gave me a fucking headache just like reading it.
It's crazy. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey guys, how are you?
How old are you?
Hey,
Yeah, I just wanted to parry off with something that y'all just mentioned. I'm
no,
not.
hold up. Do you support Donald Trump?
Go for it. I first time around did vote for him. Most recent time did not. Have mixed views, but I think that having them can actually add on value to your live conversation.
I'm going to kick you off because you don't meet the set of criteria on the screen. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello, how are you? I am 56 years old.
Hey everyone, please respect my boundaries. If you do not meet the set of criteria on the screen, we are just looking for some debates. Just letting people know. We are just looking for some debates. If I let people on that don't meet the set of criteria, there's going to be even more people that decide to do that and break my boundaries. Thank you for the galaxies. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey man, 28 I think at this point, 97 birth year.
Okay, and do you support Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, why is that?
Yeah, I voted for Biden 2020, switched over to Trump 2024.
Actually, before you do, can I thank some people before?
Go ahead, do your thing.
For sure. Addison, thank you so much. I'll try to make sure to look later. I might not see it though, but just try to add me. That might be the best way. Love you again. Thank you so much for the $1. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Literally though, it's totally fucking racist. It's crazy. It's actually fucking nuts. Marie, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Literally, they are. I think it's honestly like it's just an admission from them. And then Randy with the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Can we some W's for Randy in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Randy, with an I. W's for Randy in the comment section right now. Thank you so much, Randy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. W's for Randy in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. And love you. Honestly, like it does, like literally, show people that specifically, like that they're doing it unjustly too. But yeah, it's horrible what's happening. So yeah, JOD, so why do you support Trump?
Yeah, I guess, like the last girl said, I was definitely a fan of the immigration promises. But to be honest, I love RFK. I think he's a huge help. It was awesome when he endorsed Trump. I think I know, a lot of people watching this stream be like, oh, RFK, that's crazy. But I think at least the fact that a politician was willing to go against big pharma and open, not but also open the conversation that wasn't previously even being had by either the right or the left at how sick and unhealthy.
Harris is definitely, and Democrats have definitely gone against pharma. They've advocated for plenty of things that go against pharma to a certain degree. And then we have things that regulate pharma and limit specifically what they can do. We put regulations in place, which, Republicans don't do to the same degree. And then also, if you want to look at RFK, can you name one of his qualifications to be the head of the HHS?
Qualifications? He's a career politician and has what's his background been in court multiple times. So
what's his background in?
His background is environmental.
Environmental, yeah.
So it's environmental and it's in court. That's nothing to do with the head of the HHS.
I think, but again, at least he's opening up the conversation and exposing.
Like it would have made sense for him to work with the EPA, maybe. You know what I mean?
So
do you think someone who said that there's no such thing as a safe and effective vaccine should be the head of the HHS?
I think somebody willing to open up the records and look at everything for our rise in autism, our rise in obesity, our rise in chronic illness.
Do you think that vaccines cause autism?
I do not.
Okay, so he's using an incorrect analysis then.
Do you think that he's never said that either? He's vaccinated.
He has actually.
He has said that.
He said it new. He wrote an entire book.
Then why
talking about it?
Why is he vaccinated and everyone in his family vaccinated? If he believes. So anyway, I'll keep.
You just cut out. What did you say?
Sorry, yeah, I got the low battery. I just why he doesn't. If he truly believes that, why is he and his entire family vaccinated? He didn't like the COVID-19 vaccine. He doesn't say all vaccines cause autism, but he is
No, but
willing
he
to
thinks
say,
some do at least. He thinks
hold
some
on,
do.
hold
So then,
on,
like, if
hold
you agree
on.
that he thinks some do, then you can agree that he's making that point.
That the report is coming out in September. The New
We
York
already know what's in it, by the way, because it got leaked. So we already know what's in it.
It didn't get leaked. New York Times was speculating that it was Tylenol during pregnancy.
No. They had an informant, a person who said, and I guarantee you that when it comes out, it'll probably say that Tylenol is one of the factors during pregnancy. That will probably be in the report. Like, he's long railed against such things. So I mean, I won't be surprised.
I appreciate you guys having me on, but I think you're showing really poor debate etiquette, especially since it's two of you. Can I please finish one thought?
Sure.
Shut the fuck
Okay,
up, dude.
thanks.
We have two people on here and we're
I'm not.
co-hosting. Literally cry a river, dude. Jesus fuck, dude.
Oh, okay. All right. I can see.
I don't give a
upset.
shit about debate etiquette. That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, I care about enough
What's crazy?
to enough
What did I
extent
say that's
specifically.
crazy?
I care about enough extent to like give people basic respect. But dude, that's so ridiculous to say. Oh, there's two people on the stream. You guys aren't letting us speak. We were letting you speak. We were totally letting you speak. What are you talking about?
I've been cut off almost at every single point. Your friend agreed and said, "Okay, that's fair."
I just said okay that I let you talk. I didn't say I agreed.
But you're cursing me, and I think that's just
yeah.
such a problem.
Fucking
I'm
cry
here.
a
I'm willing
river.
to debate. I'm not crying at all. I'm not. I'm speaking, and you'll get your roses and your likes and all that stuff. But anyway, back to the topic.
You'll say that.
It was the definition of bad and almost dangerous journalism for them to come out and admit in the article actually that it was indeed complete speculation, and the effects of that article was millions and billions erased from market cap for Tylenol. So that is just the fact that you guys are getting your information from complete and pure
No,
speculation.
I'm saying based on what I know about RFK and based on everything that I've known, because I also read the Times report, right? I'm guessing, and I would put some level of money on the fact that when the report comes out,
But it's just a
he
guess.
will have in the report that among the list of things that he thinks cause autism, one of the things will be the use of Tylenol during pregnancy. That would be my guess. Now, could it change? Sure, because now he might change it. I don't know, because I don't think that you can actually solve this issue in 3 fucking months. I think we've tried to solve it for decades, and we have some answers, but not a lot of answers. And RFK is not some super genius who's going to come into the government and solve it in 3 fucking months. So,
No, he's not. But he's willing to peel back the curtain. And it's just another
what does that
great
mean?
thing.
No, I want to know, what does that mean? Because we
Okay.
have.
If you let
we
me
have
finish,
stu-
I'll tell you. For example, he is making it public record for drugs that are denied through the FDA. So that was not previously public record, but it will be moving forward. So that is an exact definition of peeling back the curtain and giving the public eyes into what is happening in the FDA and Big Pharma alike.
Rebecca, thank you for the description.
Does
So
that relate to vaccines?
Is transparency bad? Are you guys against transparency?
no, we want transparency. We just don't think that RFK is actually creating greater levels of transparency. We think that he's actually creating less transparency amongst our systems, because it is the case that he's giving them false information. He's giving people false information. He's giving them misnomers, things that they don't even need to be fucking concerned about, right? Rather than getting them concerned about things that are actually a public health crisis and actually a risk to the health of this nation. You know what's a risk to the health of this nation? Cutting people off their health insurance, cutting people off of their food stamps, cutting children off of their access to free school lunch and breakfast. That's a hurt to the health of Americans. You don't want to know what's also a hurt to the health of Americans? Cutting cancer research, cutting the funding for the World Health Organization, right? Cutting specifically people that work in the VA, right? That hurts the health of Americans. Cutting regulations for PFAS, cutting regulations for environmental regulations. All of those harm Americans to a very high extent in terms of their health. That causes a public health crisis. The public health crisis is not something that RFK is addressing. It's him himself.
So you speak fast and you say good things and it sounds right, but nobody lost their EBT. They're just not buying soda. The taxpayers know
Not true. It was a change in work requirements. You're talking about certain states changing their particular standings for food for SNAP, right? I'm talking about the federal standing for what the protections are.
And just to finish off that point, like, yes, autism is a public health crisis. Chronic illness is a public health crisis. It literally is becoming to the point where it's a national security crisis.
Wait, what's a
because
public
so
health crisis?
many
Sorry.
Are rise in chronic illness and disease, despite how much we are spending
yes,
on healthcare.
but guest, here's the point. This is the overarching point that I'll make, and I think Parker will probably back me up on it.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Parker.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I know. It's this, right? RFK identifies the issue correctly, but his solutions are not the correct solutions. That's the issue. No one here is denying that we have health crises in this country related to obesity, related to chronic disease. No one says that that's not the case. Now, I disagree with you that autism is a health crisis. Well, I don't think that's a health crisis. I think we have reasons to believe that we're just actually accurately capturing these people now in the actual screening process, right? But even if that's not the case, you can identify the actual cause and what's going on, but then actually have a bad solution to those things, which is what he's doing. Nothing that he has done in the last 7 months has put us anywhere closer to solving those issues. Nothing. Cutting the CDC does not get us there. Cutting the FDA does not get us there. Nothing there actually gets us to the root of those problems. All they're doing is they're trying to make more chaos. He himself admitted that part of the goal was to shake things up and to make more chaos. That just invites more people to be skeptical of health. You're going to see more people not get vaccines, not go to the doctor because they're scared, and that is ultimately the goal of all of this, which is why I predict that in a year or two, nothing will have changed because he's not actually there to solve the actual problem, which takes science, takes time, and takes funding.
Okay. Listen, man, you're really reasonable. I like speaking with you. This other guy was cursing me and telling me to cry a river. So I would love to build on that with you. One, the mRNA.
I'll keep doing it. You're pissed. You're so mad, buddy. Stay mad. Stay mad. Zach,
I'm
thank you for the
cop,
$50.
bad cop.
Thank you so much, Zach. Can we get some W's for Zach in the comment section for the $50? Thank you so much on YouTube Super
W's
Chat.
back.
Thank you so much, Zach. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christian, also for the $10. Thank you. I do a book record at times. Yes.
Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Zach. So yeah, to build off that, the mRNA and cancer stuff. If mRNA and some people are claiming that it'll cure cancer, then why aren't private investors and private billionaires chomping at the bit to go and fund mRNA if it's so close?
You
to
answered your
curing
own question
cancer?
like 10 minutes ago. You answered your own question 10 minutes ago. I am skeptical of the private healthcare industry, right?
Agreed.
I'm skeptical of it, right? Which is one of the reasons why government has to fund these things at universities, because the people who are doing the actual research in universities are there because they care about the issue and they want to solve problems, and it's not for profit. That's why government gets involved in these things. It's because we say as a society that it's a good thing to put our tax money to helping others, even if we don't immediately get a good return on
investment.
Thank you.
You got it.
You
No,
didn't have to,
dude, I
didn't have to
agree
do
with
that,
you.
but okay.
And that's just the
Actually, I'm going to point
honest-
that out. Please don't do that in the future. I have a stutter. I was trying to say it. I don't need you to.
Oh,
actually
dude,
correct
sorry.
things.
I was just trying to help you finish your sentence because I agree with you. I think you made another great point.
Thank you, but please
So
don't do it
yeah,
again.
I do
So-
apologize. I didn't.
No, it's okay.
You've been
But
speaking very well.
that's my
I'll
point.
respond to that.
That's
Is
my
you just-
point. Is that funding
And he
often
talked
does
about
not
us
have-
cutting him off, dude.
Yeah, it's okay. Just go ahead and make your point because I kind of lost my train of thought, so it's fine.
No problem. And sorry about that. I do apologize.
No, that's fine.
And I think you just kind of exposed yourself a little bit. You know, it's not things that are covered by mainstream media. So I understand if you're not aware of this, but that's just, again, more pressure that Trump has been putting on not only the universities, but anybody that gets government funding. It was just handouts before Trump and in so many previous administrations because it's just what you do, right? As you said, yes, we do want to give money to our universities and our great scientists and our great doctors, which, you know, just another point, aren't as great anymore. They've been infiltrated by DEI. But that's just something Trump has been doing since he's gotten office is, okay, we're going to actually take a look. What are you doing with this money? What is going on? It's no longer just billions of taxpayer funds going to Harvard and these other Ivy League schools
I'll be
without
honest with
any.
you. That's not what he's doing, though. right?
What's he
You're
doing?
claiming that's what he's doing. That's not what he's doing. He cut off Harvard's funds not because he has some great concern about science. It's because he wanted to go after them because they targeted him and they think they have that like this huge like anti-Semitic problem. That was the overarching reason. It wasn't because he has some great care about science. He doesn't even believe in science. He probably couldn't tell you the like a basic tenet about science, right? He doesn't really care about it, right? All he's doing is he's punishing people who disagree with them in the past. That's why he's gone after law firms. That's why he's gone after the universities. That's why he's gone after the media. He's going after the big three. The big three things that every authoritarian goes after as soon as they get in power. It's always the ones who produce the knowledge, produce the media, and who produce the actual way that we practice law itself.
I agree with the law firms. He totally got hit himself with the lawfare. But other than that, how has he gone against the media? The media, still mainstream and legacy media, is still pure Trump derangement syndrome. I don't think he's gone after them at all.
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean? It means anything he does is Orange Man bad and things are really bad. And there's just never ever.
No, the media acknowledges when they agree with him, but it is the case that they disagree with him with a lot. And it's not all the media. There's media that's super pro-Trump. You know that, right?
Of course, of course.
So there's literally cult-like media that's targeted towards Trump. There's a bunch of media.
So how is he targeted?
He's wrong. He's wrong.
So how is he targeted the anti-Trump media? That was a point you made. Can you give me an example? Just curiously, educate me on that fact. How has he gone after the media?
Yeah, he specifically kicked AP News out of the press pool at the White House in the Oval Office.
One big example is CBS. CBS, he sued them for millions of dollars because he claims that they edited VP Harris's 60 Minutes interview,
Which
and
they
so
admitted.
and so they had they always edit everything. By the way, his was edited too. By the way, so it's not unusual. But he sued them. They didn't want to go through it, so they decided to change the policy. They actually got a conservative person to be installed at CBS to monitor what they say. So have a government monitor at CBS, by the way, which is batshit bonkers. And then what they did like a few days ago is that Noam complained about the way that she was portrayed on the thing, and so they actually said that they're going to now have all of their on live interviews unedited because Noam complained that they made her look bad. Right? It's not their job to make them look good. That's what he doesn't understand. He thinks it's their job to actually make him look good and to do his bidding, but that's not what they're there to do.
It's not. I agree. You're right. You are totally right. 100% agree with that point. That is not at all their job. Their job is full transparency. So I think the end result of them agreeing to no longer edit is a really great thing for all Americans, for pure transparency. And to just finish that off is, yeah, you're right. It's not their job to make him look good because he and all other supporters feel they purposely try to make him look bad and Noam in their edits, but make Harris look good in her edits.
Well, can we say the same thing about Fox News?
Hold on, one final point. Okay. And if CBS felt like they really had a case and Trump's decision to sue them was completely faulty, they would have been happy to take him to court and let it play out and win the case. But instead, they probably knew he had a case and decided to settle before it even got to that point because it would have been really bad for them to get to that point of being in court and having it all laid bare. So if they thought they had a case to win, they would have taken it to court, but they were scared and they backed off because there was probably reason for them to do so.
But the same thing applies to Fox News and to Newsmax and all those other things, right? They selectively edited so many clips about Joe Biden to make him look in a bad light. They admitted it, right? They admitted in court that they're largely like for entertainment purposes and not news, and that they don't really care about like what they're doing. They did that all the time. Joe Biden didn't target them. He didn't go after their like basic licenses. He didn't say that I want to have like a liberal monitor at like Fox News or anything, right? No, what you do as a politician is you just suck it up and you complain, but you don't use the full power of the government to actually change the way they're doing. Like, yes, you can make a point maybe that maybe they were like a little bit too selective of their policies or something, right? But that does not justify That does not justify the government using its force to change how the media operates. We have a First Amendment for a reason, and I can't even imagine if a liberal president did the same thing to the right wing. Like, just imagine if a liberal president went after like Joe Rogan or something, or went after Fox News, like, and actually used the force of the law to like collectively punish them.
I just think, again, looking at the real life outcome, like you said with CBS, is that they agreed to no longer edit their interviews. That's exactly what the government is for, is because whether Fox News or CBS, whatever, maybe they are listed as entertainment companies and not actually legally required to provide you untethered, unaltered news. Most people don't know that. Most people do think they are trusted news sources. So Biden, I think he was a good man, and I have nothing bad against him. I think it was kind of sad how they rolled out this like old man who was clearly unwell for most of his presidency. But I wouldn't be surprised if the next Democratic president went after Fox News. And if the result of them going after Fox News was we will no longer edit our interviews and there will be more transparency,
so your justification
then I think
for
that's a good thing.
So your justification for this is simply that the next left-wing president might do the same thing?
No, my justification is, like, as I said, the end result was really positive with CBS agreeing to full transparency and not editing or altering their interviews. And that's a great thing. And just, we love transparency in this administration.
That's not necessarily more transparency. Them doing interviews and editing them doesn't mean that they're doing so in a manner in which is specifically like limiting of any of the information that was there. Is Fox going to do the same thing? Are they going to be transparent? Are any of the other media sources going to be transparent?
I truly hope so, and that's why I don't get my news from any of those sources, including that Fox News.
I'm so you get it from CBS now? Do you get your information from CBS now?
No, I do not.
So then you see this doesn't even fix it for you. So what was the point of all this? It's not more transparency. It's literally just limiting them from editing it, which editing can, again, be in the context of it not limiting any of the information shown. I do just want to bring us back to like some of the policies, though. Like, could you name like some policies of Trump's that you like?
I might have cut out. I got another low battery. In terms of policy, no. You put me on the spot. I don't have anything prepared. I just think he's been really strategic in certain things, such as his Truth Social post about Pfizer and Operation Warp Speed, in which he said, I thought it was really great. Maybe it wasn't. Pfizer, he's basically saying Pfizer told me it was great. We need to look more into Pfizer and the COVID-19 vaccine. And if it wasn't great, then I got fed bad information. The 600,000 Chinese students in America thing, I think that was another tactical play where he was just kind of bringing that to light. And people are outraged. The 55 million visa holders.
What's wrong with this? What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with what?
What's wrong with people from China coming to the U.S. for school? And what's wrong specifically with like the visas programs? Yeah, you just swiped out of the application.
Just America first and make America great. The Chinese student things, I don't think is too bad. We'll take students from all over the world, but I think 600,000 is quite a number for somebody we do not technically see as our ally in any shape or form. And the visas is jobs, plain and simple. I don't care what anyone tells me. We have great talent here in America, and we do not need to open up the talent to.
This is so cringe. So you're saying you're against, right, there being visa programs, right, because it is the case that we have people in the U.S. that can go to these schools? That's it? So you think it should be illegal? You think it should be illegal for these businesses to have anyone come from countries around the world and to specifically be a student at their business?
No, absolutely not. Not illegal. That's crazy. I think it should be at a number a lot fewer than, because it is absolutely a Republican workaround. I'll admit that it's a Republican workaround for lower wages. Absolutely. That's what a large part of H112.
No, it's not. There's no evidence that it reduces wages. That's not what a visa is.
And regardless, GDP, all those things, big number go up.
Oh yeah. So wait. So now you're gonna acknowledge that GDP does go up with immigration, right?
No, go ahead. I'll go back to what did you want me to? What thought did you want me to finish? And
Go
then
ahead.
we can move on.
Because I forgot already.
Okay. All right. I will admit that there might be some things that show that, but my sister, who lives in the UK, London, for almost 10 years now, is very concerned with the current demographic of London right now, and it's not as big of a problem in
What's wrong with
in
the
America.
demographics?
It has become maybe you haven't seen about all the grooming gangs and all the rapings and all grapings.
I know what you're
Wait,
talking
do you
about.
think
I know
that
what you're
people
talking about,
coming
yeah.
from other countries are increasing the likelihood of those types of crimes occurring?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So there's no evidence indicating that at all, right? I just want to let you know, people specifically coming to the country who are documented and undocumented immigrants or are foreign-born are less likely to commit crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens, violent crime, drug crime, and property crime at lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens. This idea that people coming to the country are bringing higher rates of these different types of things is ridiculous, especially because you literally support a guy that is a fucking rapist. You literally support a rapist for president.
Excuse me, you're right. I got a little off topic there with my sister in London. Bringing it back to the U.S., maybe that is true about the crime statistics, but is there something those people committing a lot of those crimes have in common? Is it gender? Is it maybe race? Is it something else? I think, that's just, yes, there are a lot more natural-born citizens, and perhaps even per capita, they do commit more crimes than foreign-born, or not, or even legally immigrants. But I think that is just very cut and dry. And if we deep dive into those crime statistics, it'll put us in a conversation that neither of you are willing to have.
What?
We brought it up. What?
Yeah, so we brought it up. We talked about this. Again, they are less likely to commit these types of crimes than natural-born U.S. citizens. So then why do you think that they're at a greater likelihood of doing this?
Again, I apologize for getting off topic for speaking about the UK, but I think your point about the native-born crime statistics being higher is irrelevant, because if we do a deep dive into those crime statistics, there's a certain group of people that is much more likely to commit crimes, especially violent crimes.
What group of people?
Black Americans. I'm not afraid to say it.
Oh, you fucking disgusting piece of shit.
Yeah, hold on.
You fucking
What
by the way,
do you mean?
By the way, you're saying that black Americans are the ones increasing the likelihood of the crime in the country? That's fucking crazy, by the way, when you're saying that, because you're not acknowledging that even for white Americans, they have a higher fucking likelihood of committing these different types of crimes than undocumented immigrants. You disgusting fuck. You understand that they also compare in that sense as well? You can look at the bibliography in the bio. All right, I'd love for you to look at that, because you're just so fucking disgusting that the only reason you're saying that there would be a higher likelihood of there being people who are doing that is because of black Americans. Fuck off. Go fuck yourself.
I knew that's where he was going to go. That as soon as he said, "I can get in the statistics," and I'm sure I knew he was either going to.
Those aren't even the statistics. That's fucking not even true.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
dude, I hate people like that. So fucking gross.
Yeah.
Lovey, thank you
Kelly,
so much for the two. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. Oh shit. I thank you, Kelly, for the $10. Thank you so much. A very kind message. Thank you. And I thank you, Natalie, also for the $10 for the very kind message. Thank you both. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Lovey, thank you for the $2 to cut him off and to shut him up. I wish I would have saw that earlier. Dylan, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dylan. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Dylan, that's just, there's no good evidence, because there would be like lawsuits and stuff, so it isn't actually more profitable for them to create the symptoms for people to then treat them after, because it is the case that they would then have medical malpractice lawsuits. Tessa, thank you for the $11.11. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Vel, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't even... Oh, that would have been a good point to bring up. And then Trista, thank you for the $34. Thank you so much. Yes, I will send half to Matt. By the way, everyone, please, if you do send me money, don't send any money if you're to like me saying that you're gonna send it over to Matt, because he does have his own links.
Yeah.
So it just complicates things.
How much is it?
I'll send it to you later. Don't worry. It's like
Are you sure?
like $17. $17.30.
Okay. Yes, everybody, if you want to have my links are in my bio. All you gotta do is click on my face, and it pop up. All my links are just like Parker's; they're all there. So and for YouTube. I will also put it in YouTube, so you'll see it if you want to do that. So you don't have to donate to Parker, because then I have to fly out to LA and he has to buy me dinner, and it's just a whole mess. So it's just
Well, don't worry. I always do. Yo, it's a valid.
yeah, I know.
21.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I voted for him, so yep.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
2004.
And how old are you again? Sorry.
21.
Okay. And what month were you born?
June.
June. Okay. So why do you support Trump?
Mainly, like, not anything with him, like, personally, but I think his policies. And I also think that there's a lot of hypocrite, like, I guess to put it, like, straight, why is it that when Obama deports, I think it was 3 million people, nobody bats an eye, but when Trump does 700,000, everybody goes crazy.
So the process in which he's deporting people is not respecting due process. They're also disproportionately at a higher rate deporting people who have not had a prior criminal offense.
And how many deportations that Obama did, how many were those without due process?
I don't think that. I think the whole time he respected the process of due process.
74%.
If you'd like to show me a citation on that,
I
what's
mean,
the source?
you can look it up. I mean,
Well, what's your source?
You're
What's your
citing
citation?
something.
because he would turn them away at the border.
You're
and he would
citing
lock 'em
something.
up
What's your
and-
what's your citation?
Also,
I mean, I
turning
think
you away at the border, that's not a violation of due process.
Yeah.
But they're not getting a case in court.
They didn't.
No,
They didn't commit a crime.
Yeah.
They entered the country and then were taken right back before they got any sort of court case. Which
Did they claim
was it-
asylum?
is
Are you talking about the asylum process?
Sure.
No,
No,
I
they
don't
wouldn't
think he
be-
is. I don't think he is. No,
They wouldn't be
because
overturning
once
the
you
asylum
enter the
process. I did
country-
ask him that question because it confused him. He didn't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Because when you enter the country, if you're caught at the border from entering as an undocumented immigrant, then yes, you're sent back because you're new, you don't have established relations here, right? And you're sent back. That's not a violation of due process. If they claimed asylum and then you didn't give them due process to go through the claim of asylum, then that's a violation of due process,
Yes.
right? It's not Biden, sorry. Obama actually had a policy document where he laid out the multiple steps that his administration was taking and how they prioritize each individual. Trump isn't doing that. He claims that he's prioritizing people like the hardened criminals and the gangs, but he's not. He's going to Home Depot and he's getting the guy who's been here 10 years who's doing the jobs that like we don't want to do. That's who he's doing, right? And so that's the problem, is that he's doing it in a very illegal way that is jeopardizing both the economy and just our nation as a whole.
So the Obama 3.1 million deportations, that statistic's wrong. Now, I'm not sure where I got it, but I mean, you're just telling me straight up that that's a false statistic. Never happened.
Wait, what?
That he deported 3 million people.
No,
during-
he did. There's a
Okay,
reason
so
why we
then-
call
so
him
going-
a deporter in chief, and a lot of liberals have a problem with what he did, right? But you made the claim that he did it without due process.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I saw. I'm
incorrect.
not sure where.
Yeah, you said like 70% due process. or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you count the ones that were, turned away at the border. But
Okay,
I guess
that's not violating due process, dude. Come on.
I mean, okay, so both of you guys support then like undocumented immigrants coming into the United States, correct?
Any undocumented immigrant that's in the country that has not committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship. I don't
Okay,
think
what
that
about
they
the
should be
ones that are
kicked out of the
coming in now?
country.
Like, how should we treat like people coming in now?
I think there should be a quicker legal process.
Okay, but like, there's not. So like, when somebody comes into the country, what happens? What should happen?
Well, I think that they should be given a pathway to citizenship. You can't say that's
No
not
matter
the
what.
process right now. You're asking me what I think it should be, dude.
So like right now, somebody comes in the country, what would you do?
I think they should be given. How many times have I said this? I think they should be given a pathway to citizenship where they do not have to leave the country. They've not committed a violent crime or bad crime. Do you want me to say it again? How many more times would you like me to make this statement?
How do you like? So would you do a background check? I guess.
Yes, that's in the pathway to citizenship.
Okay, then what if like they don't like qualify?
Then they wouldn't meet the set of criteria. Then they would be
and
deported.
then we deport them humanely. By the way, humanely, we're not going to send them to a gulag
With due
or
process.
Okay, and then I guess That's my take on like the immigration. Like I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do now a little bit, but like why it was okay for Obama to do a bunch of things.
No,
and
no,
then Trump does it.
no. Okay, here. I'm gonna make it as simple as I possibly can because this point is very important, right?
Mhm.
Obama was criticized heavily by Democrats and by liberals for the amount of people that he deported. Okay, we have a pejorative name for that, right? Like that we call him. Okay, that's not a good thing in our eyes. However, the way he did it was infinitely better than the way that Trump is doing it because he had an established criteria, he had priorities, and there were not many court cases that I can think of where Obama was explicitly said in policy to violate due process rights.
So what about the kids in the cages? I mean, I get it wasn't a cage, but like the fences, like that. Like how come nobody?
I guess he was criticized for that, right? I'm not saying, which is one of the reasons why we criticize the fact that the way that the policies are actually done in law. Yeah,
Can I make a point? Yeah, so that was those were just built under the Obama administration.
Yeah,
right. You're talking about the separating of families, which is something that we were talking about. That's in situations of like abuse or what would happen in the context of a natural born U.S. citizen as well. So like, there's no distinction in the separation of families there.
I guess but it, like in terms of like it happened, it did. But why is nobody out on the streets protesting Obama?
We did.
When
we literally
How old are you, by the way, Mason? How old are you?
21.
Okay,
so you didn't even know. You weren't even old enough. You weren't even 17
I remember people being very, very angry at the way that Obama was doing it. I remember like how it was, right? It wasn't conservatives that were angry. It was liberals. We were actively like angry at him for the way that he was doing it. But once again, my point still stands that the difference is that Trump is doing it in an unconstitutional way. Everything that he does on immigration reeks with violations of the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. I mean, like all of them, right? It just reeks of it, which is why we have a problem with the way he's doing it, because he claims to be going after only criminals, but he's not. He's going after the people that have been here 20, 30 years, that pay their taxes, that have jobs, that have families, and they're sending them back to a country that they haven't seen in like 30 or 40 years.
So why wouldn't they get the citizenship during the 20, 30 years that they were here?
Because that's a very good question.
Because the process takes too long, and it is the case that they didn't have an incentive to go through the process, and then they were already here, and if they identified themselves to authorities, they would have got deported.
Let me give you one example, right? There was a gentleman in my state who applied for asylum, and he's been in asylum as part of that, right, for over 10 years, okay? And he's been seeking to get a U.S. citizenship for those 10 years. And each time he does, the cost is insane. He can't afford it. The process becomes ever more confusing because laws change and policy changes. And because they have no interest in making him a citizen, when he went back to file once again to be a legal asylum seeker, his paperwork vanished. Right? They couldn't find it. Right? So he was at risk of deportation, a man that they know is an actual risk for like actual violence back in his own country. Now, he has to work with a lawyer to find his case because the government fucked up and they can't find his like actual paperwork. Right? It's because the system works against you, and the system has no interest in making you a valid citizen of this country, because it should not take you 10 fucking years to become a citizen and to have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to do it, to have established relationships, to have a job for 10 years and all this other bullshit, right? Just to be a valid citizen. It should be much easier, but it's not, because politicians are not involved with actually solving the issue. They want to use it as a political football to do exactly what they're doing now, which is not change the system, but instead just round people up and just like fucking send them wherever they want to send them. That's the problem.
Right. I mean, I get that. Like, my whole take on it is, yeah, if you've been here for a while, but I guess what I can't grasp is, like, if you've been here for so long, like, why do you think that Republicans in general want to kick out immigrants? Like why? Like, what is the purpose? If they're
it's because conservatism. Well, because they see diversity and they see a multicultural society as a bad thing. And that's not me just like ranting about it. They openly say it. They don't believe in multiculturalism. They don't believe in diversity. And so they're going to have a problem with the fact that this country is becoming less white. And the people who are actually honest to say it, like on Twitter, the people who are actually having influence, they openly say it. They say our country is becoming less white, and I don't like it. And so, and by the way, that's how it is in like other countries too. Like go to the UK, right? They openly say over there, like it's getting a little bit too brown over here.
And
And
that's
so,
fucking
like,
crazy.
yeah, and that's
That is
insane.
nuts, right? Do you agree with us? That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you
Okay,
profile people
so-
based off of race, yeah.
Oh, that's
But I
also
guess-
what the Trump administration is going to be doing, right? The Supreme Court just indicated them to be able to do that. And they can specifically do it based on people not speaking English, based on people not having white skin. Right? Like, do you see how absurd that is? That is your administration. That is what they are doing.
Well, I mean, yeah. And can you please give me I know you mentioned a few times. What is the likelihood that an undocumented immigrant would commit a crime?
Multiple times lower than violent crime, drug crime, and
I think if I remember correctly from the study, it's like 3 times less likely. So
Yes.
at the baseline, which is the U.S. citizen, that it's like 3 times less likely, and then there's one below that, right? It's like 1 times less likely than that, and so it goes down by about 3.
Yeah, violent
So,
crime,
like,
drug crime, and property crime.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, do you consider your country to be your home?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. And
yeah.
So I guess like, explain to me like if you invited 10 people into your home and then one of those people
Wait,
you
the
didn't invite,
distinction. We're using home in 2 different ways. My
Like your
personal
actual-
home versus like my country is like my home in a certain sense.
yeah. So like your house.
That's a
where
different
you're
sense.
living,
My house is different than my country.
how is that?
What? Okay, let me give an example. Do you think that? So, are you saying every legal immigrant that comes into the country should be allowed into your house?
I'm saying the people that I want in my house should be allowed in my house.
Okay, so then but
Party.
that would
I guess
be
a party
different
would be
from the
better
government. So then, what's your point? I want people
like-
who are in the country undocumented, who haven't committed violent crimes and bad crimes, to be in this country and to stay in here.
Right, but how do you know if they're going to commit a violent crime or they have already if they come in undocumented?
Again, we give them a pathway to citizenship where there is a vetting process through that pathway to citizenship.
Right, but somebody's coming into the country. You don't have no idea where they're from. Like, how do you know that they aren't?
Under our system, that's not how it works, by the way. We're not just letting anybody in and saying, okay, bye. Like, that's not how it works. We vet them. We have processes, right? We're only critiquing how the current system does it because it's so arduous.
Okay, well, so going back to the house, there's a difference between a house
because my house that I'm in right now, right? No one can come into my house that I'm in right now without my permission. Parker's house is the country, and so is mine. I can go to where Parker is because I'm a citizen and I belong in this country, and I can go there, right? I can go there. That whole house now doesn't work because we can actively cross state lines. I can actively go into cities. I can go into neighborhoods, right? Because we all have a right there. I can go these places. My home is my personal private property. A country does not operate like that.
So would you be in support of like, let's say 10 million people that you have no idea where they came from just coming into the country?
I don't know why you keep saying that because
Again,
we've
we're
already laid out
providing a
facts.
pathway to citizenship, right? Where they specifically go through the vetting process. We think that more people will be known, like we'll know who they are. More people who are in the country will know who they are if we provide them this pathway. We would prefer to know who people are. But I understand that if people came here and they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime and they came here for a better life, I understand why they did that, and I think they shouldn't have to leave.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, if you haven't committed a crime or anything like that, and I know that when Trump first started deporting people, that's what he was doing, and then since then, I think it's switched over.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
And,
not.
like, do you know why he switched over? By the way, like after like a few weeks,
No,
it's because he wasn't getting the numbers that he wanted. Like he complained that they weren't deporting like enough people, and so he decided to go after the people who like weren't criminals.
Okay, well, I mean, that's then my fault because I was under the presumption when he was, rallying and, campaigning that it was going to be only criminals because that's a big issue. But that wasn't the biggest issue for me personally. It was just when, under the Biden and Harris administration, inflation was crazy. I always use the McDonald's analogy. When I first started being able to drive, a cheeseburger was 50 cents. By the end of Biden's administration, it was $2.29 where I live.
Hey,
So
how was that caused by the Biden-Harris administration?
Personally, I believe it was all the green policies that they introduced because it makes
No.
energy a lot more expensive.
No, actually, it made it less expensive because it provided a substitute for energy in terms of energy production. So the idea that it
ran
made
out of oil.
the idea that it made it more expensive is ridiculous. By the way, the Inflation Reduction Act that you're talking about, the green energy policy, that came when the inflation was trending down. Did you know that?
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the Inflation Reduction Act was passed when inflation was trending down.
So it was passed during
Yeah.
like already decline of inflation. So what was the inflation?
When it was starting to come down, yeah. What was what?
What was the inflation caused by?
Supply chain issues due to COVID.
And that was seen all throughout
It was
the world.
global inflation. Yeah, we saw it all around the world. Africa, Asia, South America, Central America, Europe, all around the world saw that level of inflation.
That has nothing to do with the fact that the U.S. dollar is kind of the world's currency. You know,
no, because it would have happened in the United States first, and then we would have seen that same trend around the world. Plus, I would love for you to explain to me the process in which that would cause a increase in prices around the world. How would the U.S. dollar specifically have any effect on that in terms of the pricing mechanisms for around the world? Because it's the reserve currency.
When we print off a lot of money and it becomes worthless, then when everyone else bases their currency off of ours.
We printed most of that money under Trump's administration. Trump signed off on more debt-related spending, so he influenced the cause of more money to be, more money to be printed. So the idea that you have like this claim of we printed money would actually be worse for Trump, not for Biden.
So all of those, green energy policies where they made I live in a place where there's a lot of windmills. So when they make all those windmills, it actually costs more money to actually make that windmill than the windmill's energy actually produces. So when you do that
provide me a source on that.
So, they offer people that live where I'm at like $10,000 to build a windmill. And what they do is they put it on your property. And then when it, goes to shit in 8 years, they just let it fall and they don't actually clean it up. But
you provide a source instead of just
By the
claiming?
way, Mason, I just want to, I'm trying to help you here, by the way. Windmill makes flour, and a wind turbine is like for power. So windmill is like the old fashioned Don Quixote thing. So
I didn't even know that. Yeah, I guess wind turbine then.
Yeah, I just wanted to save you some embarrassment.
My claim that non-renewable energy is cheaper than renewable energy doesn't have to have any sort of base behind it because it's a fact. I mean, you can't tell me that oil.
You're just claiming it's a fact does not make it a fact. Provide me a source.
I mean, can I look one up then? I mean, I don't believe anyone's out there saying that.
I just want to clarify. If there's production of
energy
wind turbines in particular areas in which it is the case that there's is like not profitable like wind conditions, well, they're not going to be wanting to build wind turbines in those areas. They would want to build wind turbines in areas in which they produce a level of profit.
But they profit, but I'm in terms of energy and the amount of energy it takes to build a windmill and to bring it all the way out there with the trucks and to set it all up, you use more energy doing that than whatever that.
Give me a single source.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm positive that the life cycle of a wind turbine is orders of magnitude more than it costs to build it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Windmills, they're causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. I tell you that. Numbers never seen. You've never seen them washed up on shore like this before. I promise you that. Jennifer, thank you for the $10, by the way. Thank you. Jackie with the $2. Thank you. Richard with the $51 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm glad I gave you hope. Can we get some W's for Richard in the comments section right now? Thank you so much, Richard. That is incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much, man. As well as Wendy. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you.
Oh, and a thank you to, I'm so sorry. Thank you to Gabby, I know, for the $5, and I lost it. Oh no, I lost it. Thank you to Paige also for the $5. Thank you all both so much.
So,
So thank you.
Going back, so you're telling me that it's more energy efficient to build windmills and to build solar panels than it is to wind turbines to than oil.
They produce more energy than the energy used to create them.
Yeah.
Look
at the life cycle. Look at the life cycle, which is from birth to death, right? So at the time they're built to the time that they're decommissioned.
And Zach, by the way, thank you for the $20. The administration that values transparency so much that they released the Epstein files already. Nina with the $5. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Only took 5 subpoenas.
Hannah, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Andrew with the $2. Thank you. And by the way, Zach, another $50. Can we some W's for Zach in the comment section right now for the $50? I didn't even see that. Thank you so much, Zach. W's for Zach in the comment section right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. There was a rise in cancer diagnosis when we learned more about it. There aren't more people becoming it. We just know how to spot it better. So true. Marie, thank you for the $5. Gabby with the $5. Thank you. Tylen, thank you for the the $2. Thank you. Marie, again, thank you for the $10. I think I'm fully caught up. I wanted to make sure I was fully caught up on that. Can we get some fucking W's in the comment section right now?
W.
All right, I guess the very last thing I want to say was I don't really know what in terms of like pro-life and pro-choice, but I do think that you can't have a national ban on abortion, but I also think you can't have a national like. I don't believe that Roe v. Wade was all that good, and I think that him revoking that was like relatively good enough that I would vote for him over the latter. If that makes sense.
So you don't think Roe versus Wade was good? You think that it was so bad that you think that you would vote for Donald Trump? So then I'll ask you this question. Would you support overturning Roe versus Wade, even if there were no federal exceptions in place for those that have been assaulted?
I'm just curious if he knows what the standard was under Roe v. Wade.
Well, I know that it protected it up to like 28 weeks, which I think is a little too long.
Okay. Can you answer my question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
Sorry. What'd you say?
You don't remember my question?
No.
That was my fault, Sorga. I'm sorry.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I think I am pro-choice. Like I do think it should be up to the woman by up to 28 weeks.
Question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead and ask it.
Okay. Would you not support the overturning of Roe versus Wade if there was no federal exception in place for people who have been assaulted?
I would not support that. No.
Okay, so there was no federal exception in place. So therefore, you don't support the overturning of Roe versus Wade because they didn't establish a federal exception.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Okay, so then why do you support Trump if it's not abortion policy then?
Well, I mean, he left it up to the states.
You disagree with it being left up to the states because you provided no federal exceptions.
Yeah, but I mean, on the state level, I think that most states, I mean, I think like Texas is one of the only ones that don't actually have an exception for it.
Is he responding to my point? I'm confused. Like, you understand that it's not just Texas. There's 9 to 12 different states, right? Specifically, right? Plus, you're not acknowledging all of the different exceptions that are not put in place, particularly on a federal basis, that are incredibly important, like life of the individual who's pregnant. There are people that have died because of this legislation. You know that, right? Because it being left up to the states, and they're not being specified abortion law.
No, I guess I didn't know that. No.
Okay, so then, given that there aren't these federal exceptions in place, would you agree that you don't support the policy in overturning Roe versus Wade, given that these federal exceptions have not been put in place?
I mean, I guess yeah. I guess the cons outweigh the pros on that one.
Okay, so then what is the reason why you support Donald Trump if it's not pro-life policy?
Like overturning Roe v. Wade. I mean, like I said, you know, I get that there's no like federal protection. I just thought that the 28 weeks or 32, whatever it went up to, was a little too long, and I wanted to see them actually make a new legislation where it was down to like 20 weeks. Something that wasn't into that, you know, almost 30.
You do realize, Mason, by the way, that the standard was like viability, and viability has been actually going down, meaning that the weeks have been going down from like 28 to like 26, 24, because as medical technology gets better, right, more fetuses are able to be viable outside the womb. And so actually, the Roe v. Wade standard was achieving what many actually wanted, which was like a lower level, because the standard was just viability.
So it was. So what was it then? Like 20 weeks or whatever?
No, it's like 25 or something, like 26.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't know. I thought it had like a set date, like a set.
No. That's why I asked you the question if you knew what the standard was, because the standard that was by the court didn't just say at like 28 weeks, boom. No, they said viability, and that means something medically.
So like as science advances, then it would lower.
Yeah. But now like any state can choose. So like now it's like fucking no abortion, or it's 6 weeks, or it's 10 weeks, or you know, I mean, it's like all over the place.
Right. And I don't think that's great. I was hoping for you know, a piece of legislation that would actually cover the entire, like, you know, nationally. But
well, that's not going to happen because one side wants to ban it and one side wants to like protect it. So it's just not going to happen.
Well, I mean, Trump never actually like fully like nationally banned it either, though. You know, that was a
Yeah,
thing.
because he couldn't get the votes.
Okay. Is there anything
You
else you'd
think
like to talk about or add, Mason?
No, I don't think so. I just think right now.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Selena, thank you so much for the subscription. I really appreciate it, Selena. Thank you. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh no, hi. Sorry, I requested. I didn't mean to request.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry. Let's go on to the next person real quick, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
On accident. Oh shit.
You said 18. What's your birth year?
On accident, he said.
Oh, accident. Okay. By the way, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everyone. Let's try to get to 2,000 likes. We're on the route to be there. We have a bit less than an hour left on the live, everyone. We probably have like 40 or so minutes left on the live. Just letting everyone know. I love everyone so much, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming through today. Make sure to follow here if you haven't already here on the TikTok. I'd also really appreciate it. And by the way, just letting everyone know, tomorrow I will not be live. Just letting everyone know. Tomorrow I will not be live, but I will be live the next day after that. I'll be live the next day after that. If you do want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat and the pinned comment on the YouTube. Plus, if you check out Matt's links in his bio, everyone, you can support him as well. Should make sure to check out his Substack, which is free, by the way. Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
July.
And you said you're 19?
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you support Trump?
Because I like what he did with the border, abortion, and yeah.
Okay, what about the border and abortion?
I like that he's banning abortion and the border. He's deporting people out of the country.
Okay, can you name one way in which... have I had you on the live before?
Yeah, but you had to refresh, and you said I could come back up. But I never did.
That was a different person yesterday. That was not you.
No, not yesterday. Like a couple... Like, I haven't been on here in like 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. So... in terms of limiting people from being in the country, so can you name one way in which it benefits us as a society, specifically to deport people who haven't committed violent crimes or bad crimes?
Because they came into the country illegally and they need to leave, and it supports it because they're taking up jobs.
So they're not? If are legal immigrants taking up jobs?
Legal or illegal?
Legal.
Legal immigrants taking up jobs. What do you mean, like, they're allowed to be in the country?
Are they taking up jobs?
Legal immigrants, are they taking up jobs?
Yes.
I mean, I guess, yeah, if they're legal. I mean, everybody takes up a job.
Okay, so then what's wrong with undocumented immigrants taking up jobs then? If it is the case that everyone takes up jobs?
Because they're taking up jobs and they're illegal. So there's a difference.
So give them a pathway to citizenship.
Then do it, but they decide to come in on
pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country. That makes it so that they're not taking up jobs in the country undocumented.
They should have never came here in the first place.
You say that they should have never came here. I think they should, and I think they should have a pathway to citizenship. Why do you disagree with that?
I mean, I agree that people that are in different countries that want to come to America, it should be easier. But, I mean, if they come here illegally, they should be deported.
Okay. I understand that you keep just making the same point. But what way does that benefit us? Because we could just give them a pathway to citizenship. And it gets rid of the same issues that you just brought up.
Because
You're
then
saying that
there's
we
more
always
jobs
need to
available.
enforce the law?
Yes, always need to.
Okay. What app are you currently on?
TikTok.
Is TikTok banned in the United States?
I don't know.
Yes. Why are you able to use it? Because they're not enforcing the law.
Yeah, Trump's
They should
breaking the
ban
law.
Trump's literally just not enforcing the
Yeah,
law.
no,
You're on an
I'm
app
not
right
joking,
now
yeah.
where they're not enforcing the law to ban it, and yet you're saying we should always enforce the law. Well, then why are you using an app that's banned?
Well, because it's still here.
Oh, because you can?
Because
Yeah.
it's not enforced?
Yeah.
So you like that the law's not enforced?
I mean, it benefits me. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, it benefits you. Okay.
I mean, I like TikTok. I use it.
Okay, so you'll break the law as long as it benefits you, right?
No, I'm not breaking the law by
You are
using
breaking.
it.
You,
I mean,
dude, you
actually, you
actually
kind of
are.
are.
You're okay. You're breaking the law too. Do you think law
I'm
shouldn't
cool
be
with that.
enforced?
I'm so
stupid
cool
law.
with that. Let's go. Let's go.
you
Yeah,
like
we're
being-
breaking the law. Fuck yeah.
So you like breaking the law?
Yes, dude. As long as it's like nothing bad. Like, dude, we're on TikTok debating, bro. Yes, I think that's okay.
Okay, but if it's a crime, okay, whatever.
Then why are you doing it, huh? It's a crime, buddy. Why are you doing
Well,
it?
maybe I might delete TikTok because I didn't know.
You
it
better
was a
get off
crime.
the app right fucking now, buddy. Get off right now, buddy.
He said he's going to delete TikTok.
Get the fuck off TikTok. Delete that shit right now, buddy. Let's see it.
Where does
Later,
it say
bud.
that TikTok is banned?
Later,
Wait,
buddy.
why is it
You're
still
committing
on?
a crime right now, buddy. Enforce that fucking law. I'm calling the cops on you, my guy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, also, I like what he did.
FBI, open up.
What he's also doing with abortion and the transgender stuff.
Okay, so what specifically are you referencing? And also, nice pivot. You gotta really pivot away from that. That's not enforcing the law.
Okay,
Do you
we
agree?
can go back to that.
Do you agree this
The
is not
volume
enforcing the law?
If Trump isn't banning it and it's banned, then yeah, he's not enforcing it. But
Okay, and you don't give a shit
there's
about
probably
that. So
bigger things to worry about. No,
oh, exactly. And there are bigger things to worry about than deporting people who have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes and are here working for a better life. That's
Okay,
exactly
about
what
the
I'm
ones that
saying, by
aren't
the
here
way.
working for a better life.
What's
For
up?
a better life. What about the ones that aren't here working for a better life?
So people who have committed violent crimes and bad crimes?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be deported on the condition that they're going to be put in prison in another country.
So you pick and choose which ones get deported, even though
Yes.
they both committed a crime. Okay.
Because one doesn't have any prior criminal offenses, and the other one does that are bad. Violent
what about the
crimes
ones
and
that-
bad crimes are not good. For example, someone's held civilly liable of sexual abuse. I wouldn't let them into the country. Do you agree with me?
Nah, because he didn't do that.
Wait, I'm not talking about any person. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if someone coming to the country was held civilly liable of sexual abuse, would you let them legally enter the country if you had the ability to
person.
determine whether or not they could?
I mean, they're civilly liable, so.
Would you?
I'm not the president. I don't make those choices.
No, I'm saying given that
You
you
have
have
an
the ability
opinion,
to make
don't
that
you?
determination. Yeah. Let's say you were in that position and you are asked. Trump goes up to you and says, "Do you want them in the country or do you not want them in the country?" I tell you, I'll respect whatever you have to say there, buddy. I promise you that.
Creed is making the policy. Creed, what is your opinion? What
What's
should we
your
do?
opinion, buddy? Please let me know. I gotta know.
They were never already a U.S. citizen, then no, they probably shouldn't come in.
No, they've qualified and been vetted in every other way. They're 1 second away. They've been going through the legal process. They're 1 second away, and you get to
Okay, but
determine
they
whether or
weren't
not
born
they're
here.
allowed or they're not allowed, based upon this one metric. Okay, they were held civilly liable of sexual abuse. Should they be let in the country legally?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, they probably shouldn't. Okay, no, they probably should not.
They shouldn't. They shouldn't be let in the country legally. If they shouldn't be let in the country legally, well then why should they be let? Why should we let them become president?
Trump was already here. I don't know if you're trying to get at that he should be deported or something. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, no, we're not talking. Maybe you're just an idiot, and I need to explain it some different way. So, would you let someone held civilly liable of sexual abuse be your kid's babysitter?
But no.
No.
But-
Okay, but would you let them become president?
I mean, yeah, we did.
Should there be
so.
harsher qualifications to become a babysitter or to become president?
Well, there's a difference between babysitting and running the United States of
I
America.
understand. I think there should be more qualifications to become president of the United States than to be a babysitter. Do you agree with me?
I mean, if he's a good president, but I mean,
No,
I
answer.
don't
Do you
know.
think there should be more qualifications to become president or to become a babysitter?
I mean, obviously the president, but at the same time,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
it's
So
like,
wait. So then, like, if there's a qualification that you apply to become a babysitter, well, then seemingly you also have to apply that qualification and more to becoming president of the United States. Correct?
well, babysitting, like that's like okay, he's held civilly liable of sexual abuse. Nobody's gonna let him watch their kids. I guess I don't know. I mean, I'd
But
let
they
Trump
let
watch.
them be president of the United States. They let them watch the country, the nuclear codes, give them access to everything.
Well, there's a difference between that and watching somebody's kids. Like,
Wait, no, because he's determining policy for children.
I'd still
for the whole
I'd still
country.
let him watch my kids. I mean, he's not a bad person.
You would let them. You would let him watch your kids. You would let someone held
Okay, but
civilly liable of sexual
okay,
abuse
but-
watch your children.
No, but I would let Trump watch my kids. There's a
He was held
difference. It's
civilly liable of
Trump.
sexual abuse. You moron.
It's not. I would not let some random person that I don't know watch my kids. That is, like, it's Trump.
So you would let So you would let a
Which is
guy who
scary
said
as
he would
fuck.
date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years
I was just
babysit
gonna
your
bring that up.
children? So a 56-year-old man that said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, you'd let
I
that
don't
guy
think he meant
babysit
it
your
like
children?
that. He was saying that jokingly. I don't think he meant it like that.
So you'd
Wait.
let him babysit your children?
How can you say that jokingly to a 10-year-old? Like, please, I'd like Creed. I want you to explain. Please logically connect the dots. How a 56-year-old man can say something funny to a 10-year-old that I'm going to be dating you in like 10 years. Like, please make it make sense. I don't know. I don't see how that's funny.
It was a joke that got pushed out of context.
What's the context that is needed?
Yeah. Yeah, what's the context that makes it not crazy?
I mean, I would never say that personally, but I don't know. He probably, like, I don't know.
Wait, you just said that like Trump was a good guy and everything,
He is a
and
good
you
guy.
let him. Yeah, but now you're saying that like you wouldn't say that. But why?
would
Why wouldn't you say it?
Because I
It's a
understand.
joke.
Like, he probably, like, I don't know.
He was-
why
he's
wouldn't you say it?
56.
Yeah, why wouldn't you say it? Let me know.
Because, I mean, it is weird, but, I mean,
why,
he probably
why under
didn't.
your view is it weird?
Saying you're going to date a 10-year-old in 10 years?
Yeah, why under your view is that weird? Explain what's weird about it.
I have to explain why that's weird.
Yeah. See, I'm a dumb guy and I don't understand things, so please explain it to me. 'cause
Yeah, just
I
explain
don't
it.
understand things.
Why is it weird?
Because you're telling a 10-year-old that you're going to date her in 10 years. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
wha-
weird.
yeah,
It's
but-
weird.
no,
Wait,
why is that bad?
Explain what
Why is that
aspect
bad?
of to you is weird about that.
Yeah. Why is that bad?
I don't, because I don't know, it's weird. I don't know how to necessarily explain
What
it.
about
why
it is weird?
That he's telling a 10-year-old that he's going to date her in 10
That
years.
it's pedophilic?
Nah.
That's
I wouldn't say
grooming behavior?
Hey,
No,
Creed.
no,
Creed.
no.
What characteristic of the 10-year-old is he judging to make a determination that he'll be dating them in 10 years?
He could have said that to any 10-year-old, no matter, like, okay, you're just...
Wait, you do understand what you just said, right? He could say it to any 10-year-old. Any 10-year-old, chat. Like, Trump could have said
What
it to
about
any
your
10-year-old
10-year-old daughter? What about your 10-year-old daughter? If he said it to your 10-year-old daughter or your 10-year-old sister, would you still support him for president?
Yeah. What? Is that crazy?
Yes!
No, it is not.
That is crazy. Oh my god. How about this question? Next question. If Donald
Okay.
Trump, right, barged into the changing room of your sister, who is 15 years old and changing in a changing room, would you still vote for him for president over Kamala Harris?
Did he purposely do it?
Yes.
I mean, at that, I probably wouldn't even vote because Camilla, I would not vote for Camilla.
So by the way, you wouldn't vote. So let's at least get you to this. So given that he did that to someone else's 15-year-old daughter or sister,
How do you know
will you
that he
say
did
that?
that?
Will you say that you won't support him anymore?
How do you know that he did that?
Because an 18-year-old came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms where Donald Trump would barge in while they were changing, and Donald Trump himself bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women without their consent.
Sit there and watch them, barge in and watch them? Is that
Yes.
like?
Yeah, he told us how he would do it.
Yeah, do you want to hear?
Yeah, I want to hear.
Here we go.
I'll go backstage before a show. And
Well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything
doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
Okay, but I think I don't think he meant it like that, like how it sounds.
What do you mean he didn't mean it like that? What the fuck
Creed,
do you mean?
Creed, your native language is like English, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how words string together to become a sentence, correct?
Yeah, okay, but you can say something that you don't think about it in your head, it comes out, but it comes out wrong and you don't know how it's said.
Okay. Let's put it in context here, because I really want you to understand what you're fucking saying, okay? Because right before that, they were talking about women in a derogatory way, and then he ends the sentence by saying he gets away with things like that, okay? If you're doing something right, you don't have to get away with it. Right?
You're right.
Right, exactly. So he's telling you that he gets away with it because he knows that you shouldn't be doing it. Because things that you should be doing, you don't have to get away with.
Okay, but either I don't know. Okay, that's weird, but I'd still vote him for president. I mean, I don't think that changes the fact that he's a good president.
You'd still vote for him? Are you kidding me?
No. Parker,
No.
let's take this each one. We just gave you one example of him saying to a 10-year-old that he would date them in 10 years, which you agreed is weird. Right? You said it's weird, and that you would not do it. Then we told you, and then we gave you his audio of him admitting to walking in the changing rooms of teens and women in order to see them undressed without their consent.
He did not say teens.
Yes, he said girls. He said girls. He said girls and women. So he clarified in his own voice. Oh, sorry, I'm getting upset. He clarified in his own voice.
By the way, in that statement, he didn't say girls. In that statement, what we get the girls from is that there was an 18-year-old that came out, so there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old.
I could have swore that he says girls and women, like he said, and then he's like that, and he corrects them. Okay,
He says women, but
regardless, he says women, right? But we have evidence from individuals, as Parker's saying, of people who were actually there who said there were girls as young as 15. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Teens as young as 15.
So
but even if it's just women,
he concedes to barging in. He concedes to barging in that context.
Yeah.
And then we know, based upon that, we have a baseline, and then we know that there's other details that have been clarified by contestants that were part of Miss Teen USA, 18-year-olds that said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms.
But if they don't like Trump, of course they're going to try and say that.
It's not just that they don't like Trump; it's what they're telling him about this. They're telling everyone that he did this.
Either way, it's weird. I agree, but they could easily just say there was a 10-year-old.
And maybe they don't like him because he barged into their changing rooms to perv on them.
Yeah, I think the overall point is too, though, is that the point is that he's barging into their dressing room to see them naked without their consent or anything, right? Women, girls, he has a predilection here, but barging in and bragging about it, and then saying, I want to emphasize at the end that he gets away with things like that, and you don't say that if what you're actually doing is okay to do. He's telling you that it's wrong.
I think it's another thing of where he missaid something. He didn't mean for it.
No. I got you on this. How about this? Let's say your mom was in a changing room and it was naked while changing, and Donald Trump barges in to that changing room to perv on her without her consent. Would you still vote for the guy over Kamala Harris?
I would definitely not vote for Kamala, but I wouldn't vote for Trump either.
Okay, so you wouldn't vote for Donald Trump. So why would you do that with someone else's mom or someone else's sister?
Okay, but I don't think you make it sound like it's like that, but I don't think Trump actually barged in there and did. I don't.
He told you
he did. We just played the clip of him doing it. Wait, do you want me to play the clip again? He just admitted to doing it.
Oh, I heard it.
So then you should be able to acknowledge it. I'll play it one more time because apparently
it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else, and no men are anywhere. and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
That's him admitting to it.
Like, okay, what is the like? What were the women like? I don't know. I'm just trying to
Changing
understand.
because
For what,
Parker,
like a performance?
Okay.
Or?
In that clip, Parker, I think there's actually more to that clip. Parker, it's the one where he's like, hello, Mr. Trump. I speak with my, down,
Yes.
that kind of. What they're talking about is they're being derogative about women, and they're saying that these women in these areas that they act in a certain way, and
Watch this.
yeah.
Well, couldn't that be construed, however?
You know, it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, however, as
Conflict?
yes.
I don't see it as a conflict.
It could be a conflict of interest, but you know, it's the kind of thing you worry about later.
Oh, I see.
You tend to think about the conflict a little bit later on.
The question is, how can it not be construed?
No, I mean, some of these foreign girls, Mr. Trump, in my country, we say hello with vagina. And
well, you could also say, as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a doctor.
is good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like.
If that was your mom or your sister, you said you wouldn't support him. You wouldn't vote for him for president. Why would you do that, given that it's someone else's mom or sister?
If he did that necessarily, like he said it, yes, but I don't think he would, like, if he really did that, he'd say that out loud. I think he I don't know.
What was he trying to say? Can you tell me what he was trying to say?
It sounds bad, yes, but at the same time, why would he come out on a podcast and say that he did that, knowing that that's wrong?
Dude, ask yourself that. He's an idiot.
But
also, when this was taken, unfortunately, men have not evolved very much, and he was on Howard Stern, who himself is like a POS who says like disgusting things. So he probably felt that he was in good company and that he could say whatever the fuck he wanted. That's probably why, because he felt comfortable around other people. Like 2002, I think 2003, somewhere in there.
So you don't think people can change?
No, people can change.
We're talking about a rapist that pervs on children and women. No,
you don't.
I don't think.
No,
I don't think he's redeemable. What?
I don't think he prays.
By the way,
children.
there are things you can do in your life that are wrong that you can be redeemable for. For example, someone could have cheated before in their life, which is an incredibly atrocious and bad thing to cheat on your significant other. But you can be redeemed. That's something that you can be redeemed from. This is not an example of that. Okay.
What do you mean?
This is not an example of that.
You don't think he could, like, yes, probably, if he actually did that, yes, he's in the wrong completely. But you don't think that he could change in 20 years, 10 years?
From grape?
Who did he grape?
Eugene Carroll.
Eugene Carroll.
And was there a grape kit used for proof?
Wait, there doesn't have to. There doesn't have to be. There was a dress with DNA. I have a question. I have a question. If Donald Trump had the ability to disprove a certain claim about him that everyone was saying about him, would he do something to disprove it if he could?
I know what you're talking about, and answer
this question. Would he do it if he could?
I mean, he definitely could. I don't know. He probably just doesn't want to give his DNA.
No, if everyone were saying something about him that was not true and he could disprove it, would he do it?
Depends on what it is, yeah.
Yes, he would. His ego is way too large. He cares way too much. Okay? So there was a dress with DNA on it, unidentified male DNA. Trump had multiple years to give up his DNA. He chose not to give up his DNA. Why did he do that?
I wouldn't either if I was him.
Oh, really? Why?
Why would you just want to give your DNA for?
You would prove that you weren't at the scene of the
crime.
crime. He said he never met her.
Okay, wait. What was on the dress? Like what?
Unidentified male DNA. He said. So let me clarify. Trump said he never met her.
Okay.
So if they never met, she does not have his DNA, and it is the case that, given that she doesn't have his DNA, that she wouldn't be able to get that to put it on the dress. So it would be someone else's DNA.
You could
So
have
if he
had
gives
somebody
up his
else's
DNA,
and put
so
it
if he
on
gives up his
this.
DNA, given that he never met her apparently, right? It would disprove that he was at the scene of the crime. Right?
Right, but what if somebody
Oh,
else
but
had his DNA and they
so
wanna
given that he
take
never
Trump
met
down
her,
and they put it on
wait,
Trump?
wait. Given that he never met her, why didn't he give up his DNA?
Because maybe somebody else who didn't like Trump also got his DNA and put it on the dress. Like what?
No, there's no evidence of that. You can't
I
do
know,
that.
okay, but there's no evidence that he did it. I wouldn't give up my DNA because if somebody did do that, then you give up your DNA.
So
and it
your
is
whole
your DNA.
explanation is that he thinks someone planted it. That's ridiculous, dude.
I would too. I would not give it up because as long as you don't give it up, I mean, there's no proof. Plus, if you do
Someone
give it
that's
up,
never met him knew someone that met him that found his DNA
Yeah.
that wanted to
That
convict
is-
him of a
yeah.
crime.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So do you see how the extent of they go to? Is that more likely than the fact that he's guilty? No, that's definitely
but the
not. Given that there's
chance
an
of that
entire
being a
unanimous decision
possibility-
from a jury of 9 people.
Okay, but that being
This
the
is like
chance of
straight
the possi-
delusional level, like
is not
like glazing of Trump.
Parker.
This is
Smart.
delusional level glazing of Trump.
I want your opinion on this, and I don't bring it up. I only bring it up because I want to make sure I don't want to waste our time. But his username is
Oh my
Prestige
God.
Rage Baiter.
That's
So
not for this. It's
look, I'm giving it to Parker so Parker can make a decision because it's not my live stream, and I don't know if you're a Rage Baiter or not. Parker has much more experience with those people, so I'm just saying.
Bro,
I'm
it's in the
putting it out there.
name. It's in the name.
It's in the
Totally
name.
getting
It's in the
kicked.
name.
Totally getting
Yeah.
kicked.
So
Totally getting
I just wanted to
kicked.
put that out there.
Thank you. Fucking hell.
And thank you to Sweet Honey for the $3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And thank you to Bread also. And Bread, don't worry, you don't have to send me anything. I appreciate your support no matter what. So thank you so much, Bread. But don't worry.
Absolutely. Damien, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Jason, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for the $10. Thank you. Thank you. Vel with the $2, by the way. Thank you. Everyone, just letting everyone know I only have like a little bit left on the live, like 20 minutes max. So like this is the last conversation. Emma, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. And I won't be live tomorrow, everyone. So everyone who's here right now, for the 6.2 thousand people here on TikTok, for the 3,000 people here on YouTube, like the stream, follow me if you haven't already. I will be on here literally in 2 days. I have lots of content planned. So tomorrow I'm doing stuff. I promise you, I'm doing something. Okay, I'm not gonna just not be I'll be busy. I promise. Okay, I promise you. I will be doing stuff. So there's stuff coming out. I promise you on that. I'm gonna say it a million times because it's true. There's a lot of stuff coming from this month. It's actually pretty nuts. I wish I could talk about it, but I can't. But y'all will love it. Y'all will love it.
Don't come into my DMs asking. I'm not gonna answer.
This has to be the last conversation, though. But as always, if you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat and the comment on the YouTube. But I'll be back here soon. Don't worry, everyone. Brendan, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Astounding, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. After the time allotted. Yeah, which wouldn't, because he was trying to extend how long it took. He knew it wouldn't get accepted. Bron, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bell as well. Thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Bell. I really appreciate it. Let's get this next person up here again. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the screen, everyone. How much you want to bet the person I get up on the stream is going to say I'm paid by the DNC? Or I don't have a real job. Watch. It's going to happen. I have a feeling the next guest is going to do that. I have like this like intuitive position. Why do I just know that that's going to happen?
Psychic. Back in those days, you remember? Psychic. He just knows.
Watch it. Doomsday, thank you for the $2. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Sense, yeah.
It's me, Parker. You love me.
Please
I don't know who that
pay
is,
Farm Sim.
Oh, Farm Sim. That guy.
That is honestly W fetus. That is like the most W fetus ever. I'm not gonna lie. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Hello.
How old are you?
What's up?
I'm 18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
More recently, okay, so I supported him during the election, but more recently, nah, not really.
Would you vote for him again if you go back in time? Oh,
He said not really anymore. So
oh. I mean, maybe he's moving to the light, so I mean that's good.
that's good. That's good. Move into the light. Let's go to the next person. Everyone only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria on the screen. Again, Burhan, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I would ask Matt, do you have any book recommendations?
Yeah, it depends on what genre. Fiction, I'm a big mystery guy. Anything by Agatha Christie, I like science fiction. Isaac Asimov is good. Lord of the Rings, mwah, love it. Nonfiction, it's a lot of things. I read a lot of shit. Sorry. So,
Mid,
so
how old
nothing
are you?
there.
21.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
What's your birth year?
2004.
Okay, what month?
March.
March. Okay, so why do you support Trump?
I support Trump because, I think politics is corrupt, and I feel like even if people think he's corrupt, I think he's less corrupt than a lot of other politicians.
By the way, it sounds like your mic is a little bit muffled. But you said that he's less corrupt than other politicians.
Yeah.
Here's a real question. Do you think what do you think is corruption actually?
I think corruption is, lying to the American people and keeping, the power in the hands of the elite.
You know that he makes all of those things worse, right?
I mean, you can say that, but at least we know what he does.
No, like for example, he has 30,000 confirmed lies in his first administration, and then he actively advocates for policy that puts more power into the hands of like the quote unquote elite in our society, like the people who make significant amounts of money.
I mean, a lot of the politicians that we know today are already rich, so they have all the power in their hands already.
But you're trying to say that he's less corrupt than like other politicians. So like it sounds like what you just described is literally a description of Trump. By the way, it still does sound like it's muffled.
Can you hear me better now?
No, it's actually really hard to hear you.
Do you hear me better now?
It is better now.
All right. So what'd you say? You said he lies a lot?
Yeah, he had 30,000 confirmed lies under his first administration.
I mean, well, he does talk a lot more than at least our last president. I don't want to bring up Biden because, you guys hate when people bring up Biden, but at least he, does press conferences and talks to the people.
Just doing press conferences isn't like him being a better candidate,
It doesn't have to be a better candidate. At least he's more, vocal about what he thinks and what he believes in.
Doing press conferences doesn't mean you're not corrupt.
It doesn't. I'm just saying.
Do you think corrupt individuals do press conferences?
Obviously, everybody does press conferences, but I'm saying he talks more to the people and to reporters about what he believes in and what he thinks and what he wants to do. The last president, he basically was never there, was a zombie, and had all these decisions that nobody knew about. Nobody, everything that Trump does is in the news. What we don't know about is what Biden was doing the whole time he was the president.
We do know. He was literally had press conferences. He spoke to everyone. He passed policy. We saw what he was doing there.
Yeah, he passed policy, but do you really think he was, actually advocating for all those things, or do you think
yes,
he was
actively was literally advocating for the Inflation Reduction Act, the Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, and the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the American Rescue Plan as well? He was a big proponent of those.
Yeah, he was a big proponent, but did he actually, actually think of those things, or did he have a bunch of political advisors giving him those things and giving him the speeches to actually advocate for those things?
So he advocated for those things, and also he had advisors indicating this to him?
Yeah, but do you think he actually? Okay, so
You understand that every presidential candidate has advisors that they get the stuff from.
obviously they have advisors, but Trump is
Do you have
obviously.
Bluetooth connected at all, by the way?
No. Is it hard to hear me still?
Yeah, it still kind of is.
It's a little muffled.
I'm sorry. My case is kind of thick,
You're good.
but
Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry.
obviously Trump is a lot more vocal about what he wants to do. I mean, Biden basically only came for, well, he only spoke out about the big, larger things. Everything that Trump does is in the news every day. You know, he's not very, silent or, in the closet about anything he does. Even when Biden, in the last couple of days of his presidency, he did all those pardons, Trump would have came out a long time ago and said that he was going to do his pardons. Like, Trump is very vocal about everything he wants to do.
Everything Trump does is on the news. So why didn't he release the Epstein files?
He has. Did you not see those $30,000? I mean, 30,000 files that he just released?
Those were already released.
Yeah.
No, what was new?
And not by him, by the way. And not by him, by the House.
Yeah, but obviously he controls the House, right?
No. Well, I mean, it's his party, but the problem was is they had to subpoena the estate of Jeffrey Epstein, not Trump. Trump has been fighting to keep them. Remember, it's a hoax. It's not real, right? And then he told us that very disgusting letter that he wrote, that it never existed. And lo and behold, it actually did exist. And now he's saying it's not his signature, even though it's clearly his signature. Like, I'm sorry, but like he lies every breath he takes. Like every breath that he gives, it's just a lie. I mean, he can't help it. It's just it's just fucking who he is.
Yeah, based upon your definition of corruption, he literally is the very definition of corruption.
Yeah.
So do you not think other politicians lie, or do you not think?
Well, I'm not saying that they don't, but like, can you give me examples of other politicians being corrupt?
Obviously.
Go ahead.
Like, okay, Nancy Pelosi.
And what did she do that was corrupt?
I mean, obviously it wasn't illegal because they made it not illegal, but she trades on stocks that, she obviously has insider information of.
Okay, so like Donald Trump specifically, using his political position to make money off of True Social, half of his net worth is from True Social. Do you think that's insider trading? Because he used his insider information that as president, he would make a lot of money off of having a social media app, because it is the case that he got kicked off of Twitter.
Well,
otherwise he wouldn't have had ownership over it. So that sounds like actually applicable to Donald Trump.
Well, he started that after he was out of the presidency. So, I mean,
but he was going to run for president again, and he thought he was the rightful president.
Well, he didn't have insider information when he was out of the presidency. That's what
he had insider information that he would specifically, like, by the way, like that he would, but he's still making money off of this as president, that he would make money off of him being in the position of president and the attention being placed on him and people then going onto that social media platform. Okay, so that's some insider information to some degree, right?
No, he maybe he knows that, but he doesn't know he will be president again.
How do you feel about his meme coin too? And yeah, he wanted to be president again, so
obviously, but he didn't know that he would win.
Okay, but he thought he won the last one.
Yeah. Okay. That doesn't mean that he knew that he was going to be a president again. Like, I don't think you knew he was going to be president again. I bet you thought that Kamala was going to win.
I didn't know who was going to win.
Okay, so obviously he didn't have any information that he was going to win presidency again. He could have ran again and lost all that money because people thought he was, crazy or whatever. So
that doesn't change anything from what we were trying to argue. He still was under this notion insider trading, right? Because he still has ownership over the stocks or True Social. Plus, you're not acknowledging the meme coin he dropped.
I said he has a meme coin. Okay. A lot of people have coins. I mean,
yeah. What type of people have dropped their own coins named after them?
I mean, it's not really hard to create a coin.
Do you think that those coins are known for being good investments?
No, they're not. Obviously not. But he's a businessman. He wants to be a billionaire. I
A
want to be a
businessman
billionaire.
with 6 bankruptcies.
Okay. He's not personally bankrupt. The businesses went bankrupt. That's another.
Yeah, those are his, but it was Trump Casino, right? Trump Steaks, Trump University.
Trump
Air.
Okay, so he's obviously not bankrupt, so it's okay. But the point is,
But the businesses that he was operating were.
And I bet his meme coin will be bankrupt too. But I bet you he made millions of
You
dollars.
bet his meme coin will be bankrupt too. You know what? We're adding a 7th one, chat.
I bet he made millions of dollars off of it.
Oh my god, we're making it 7.
I'm not mad at somebody making money. Like.
Well, he's grifting, isn't he?
Yeah, but a lot of politicians.
Yeah.
Grift, right? Barack Obama and
wait,
and
but you
Michelle
just said that was corruption and that was bad. You just said that's a reason why you support Trump is because you don't want that corruption. But then he defined every characteristic, and you're like, dude, he's just like every other politician.
No. I said that he's less corrupt than other politicians. At least he's.
Oh, really? What tells you he's less corrupt? He's out in the open that he's grifting you?
Yeah. He's open about it, Parker. He'll tell you to your face, I am grifting you, I am ripping you off. He's an honest, corrupt politician.
Okay, like you guys seen the plane that the Saudi Arabia gave him, right?
He's like, yeah, I sell out the country. You know what I mean? Like, I'm corrupt.
Yeah,
he literally went up to like big fossil fuel companies, said, if you give me $1 billion for my campaign, I'll give you $110 billion in tax cuts. Is that corruption? $400 million jet from Qatar? Is that corruption?
Yes, that's corruption. But at the same time, at least he said, okay, I'll take the plane. Who wouldn't? Tell me right now, you wouldn't take a plane of $400 million.
No, because there are things tied to it.
Like what?
The fact that it cost us money to like refit it for the standards of the president, the fact that it's not needed because we're already building a new Air Force One, the fact that it looks like a gift from a country that you want to almost like bribe somebody with, saying, Mr. Trump, here's a plane that I'm going to bribe you with, and we want nothing in return. Nothing in return, we promise. Right, come on. Like, yeah, he's open about the fucking corruption because an actual politician would be like, no, I don't fucking need the plane. I have a plane that's fine already.
Yeah, but they're obviously
also
lying.
I don't have any use for a plane, right? Like,
you don't have any use for a plane
other than like selling it.
You don't have any use for a plane. Anyway.
No, dude.
So you don't go anywhere. You won't visit any other.
I would just go through airlines. Yeah. Why do I need my own fucking plane?
This is the lies about Democrats. You guys, you want to say, oh no, I would never do this. I would never.
Mid, why wouldn't I sell the plane, use the profits to then fly like first class every time I fly?
Yeah, like, dude, that would be great, right?
You're still taking the plane. That's the thing. You
might say, I'm not saying that I don't take planes. I never said that. I just said I don't need my own private plane.
Yeah,
and I have no use for my own private plane.
Yeah, a bunch of Democrats say that, but they
like, for example, like this: could you possibly use a train to go somewhere?
Obviously, you can use it to go.
Could you use a private train? Do you have any uses for that in your life?
A private train?
Yeah, like someone would just give you a gift of a train. Would you have some uses for that? You need to go places.
Yeah, but you couldn't use a plane to go overseas. But that's not the point. The point is, Donald Trump, he might lie a lot and he might be, corrupt. But at the same time, he's still exposing a lot of other corruption. Even though you say, Jeffrey Epstein files, he's the one that was advocating for that. Even though he calls it a hoax now, it's only because
he advocates for it for years. And then when
even though he calls it a hoax now,
like, it's nothing. Don't look here. Don't look here. Oh, come on, bro. You have to be joking. You have to be joking.
Obviously, Democrats didn't give a fuck about it. So when Joe Biden was
wait, no, I'm
Democrats.
sorry. Why would he want to release it if it's a hoax?
He was advocating for it for a long time before the Democrats ever.
Why would he want to release a hoax?
Why? Yeah. Why did he change his mind? All of a sudden.
Can you guys let me talk?
Sure. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, he changed his mind. He didn't change his mind. He obviously wants it to be out. If he didn't want it to be out, he wouldn't have talked about it in the first place. He's obviously very careful. Well, not careful, but he's obviously very pointed in what he says. He doesn't say a lot of things for no reason. He brought it out because it's an important issue. But the only reason Democrats care about the issue now is because they can use it as a political like cleavage to hurt him.
No, I cared about it either way. I would want them to be released either way. Like, I want Democrats to be held accountable if there are Democrats involved in this.
Obviously, we all do. We all do. He only would talk about that if he knew that it would be a very 90-20, a 90-10 issue. It wouldn't be. He wouldn't have talked about it if it wasn't important.
So then why isn't he releasing it now if it is the case that he knew? Okay, here, listen. If he wanted to release it and knew that it was a hoax, that wouldn't make any sense. Why would he want to release a hoax created by the Democrats?
Saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a hoax. He is saying that the coverage of it by Democrats.
The files. No, the files. He said the files were a hoax.
No. He only
That's
saying
exactly
that
what he said.
Because every Democrat is saying that he basically, they're using innuendos to basically say that he's a pedophile. Would you want somebody to call you a pedophile? In the
mid. If the files are a hoax, or if the coverage of it is a hoax, why don't you release it and prove the hoax to be wrong? Because that's what you should do, right? Like he's saying the hoax is the media coverage of it about how he's like this, like a P3DO and everything, right? If that's false, release the files. They will exonerate him. He will be free in the wind. He'll be free. But yet he doesn't want to release the files. So that tells me he's afraid of what's in them. And after what's been coming out, I understand why.
You're still doing the same thing. Like he's afraid of the files being released. If he was afraid of the files being released, why would he talk about it during his whole campaign? That doesn't make any sense.
Because he was conning you. He doesn't give a shit. You think a rapist cares about this shit? No, he's conning you.
He was trying to get people's votes so that he didn't go to prison.
So he doesn't go to prison. So he would bring up the same thing that he went to prison for.
Yeah.
That he went to prison for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got him it worked. He got him into office, right?
Plus, he knew that like all of his like MAGA cult followers would just fall right behind him and say it's a hoax and shit, and that it's not real, which is exactly what's fucking happening, right? You have people who for years claimed that we need to release the files on the Republican side, by the way, and in MAGA. And as soon as Donald Trump is implicated in it, what do? Fucking Charlie Kirk, fucking Matt Walsh, they all go, "This is clearly fake. This doesn't match at all. This is clearly fake," right?
After advocating for it to be released.
Yeah, after advocating for it to be released, as soon as
we gotta
Donald
trust
Trump
the
mentioned,
admin.
all of a sudden it's a
admin.
fake shit, right? Like, see, come on, like
it's obviously not fake. He's never said that Jeffrey Epstein. Who the fuck will say Jeffrey Epstein?
Then why would he say that? Why would he say that's a hoax if he know that it's not fake?
Because Democrats didn't care about it the whole 4 years.
I do. I cared about it.
Okay. So why is it only brought up now? It's only been brought up.
Why? So you're asking why is it more relevant to the discourse now? Because Donald Trump said that he would release it and then is not releasing it.
Okay, he obviously needs to bring everything together. It's not going to be released in a day.
Also, you're under this misapprehension that we give a shit about these like Democratic politicians.
Actually, Matt as well. I need to say this. So if he didn't want it, if he's just trying to get it together to release it, why would he say it's a hoax?
Because the coverage of it is basically trying to call him a pedophile. Would you want somebody to call you a pedophile every day in the news? On CNN, would you want somebody to call you a pedophile?
He can just disprove it by releasing it.
And that was my point.
Obviously, he wants to release it. He wouldn't have talked about it if he didn't want to release it.
And by the way, he said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years and bragged about literally perving on naked women without their consent. And then it was proven that an 18-year-old came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms where Donald Trump would barge in without their consent. Plus, we can also point to like plenty of other things in terms of Donald Trump's behavior that indicates that, like him calling his daughter voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive, him saying he has sex in common with his daughter, and Yada Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass.
Him saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a great guy and that he likes women just as much as he does, except on the younger side.
I'm not calling him. I'm not saying he's not a weirdo. You know, he's definitely a strange man, but at the same time,
that's an understatement.
Calling him a pedophile on the news every day is definitely not.
If the shoe fits, I'm sorry. We know how to do addition, and so we add up one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, and at some point, A plus B plus C plus D plus E equals Z. I mean, it like all adds up.
If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, A is equal to C.
A is equal to C.
You know what I'm saying? Like, A is equal to C. Like,
but also, Park, can I make my point that I was making just before? It'd be very quick. I just want to point out, a lot of the MAGA people are under the misapprehension that we give a shit about like Democratic like politicians, right? If Bill Clinton was like implicated in this shit, bring him down. I don't care. Like that's what you don't understand. Like we don't care because we don't have that cult like following where everything depends on the like one dear leader and we have to defend them. I have no allegiance to people like Bill Clinton, right? Okay. I have no allegiance. If he's in there, fuck him, right? Let him be, sent to prison. I don't like. I'm being serious. I don't care. So release it all and let the chips fall where they may.
Most definitely. If Trump is a fucking pedophile, obviously nobody gives a fuck about him. He should go to jail. I mean, nobody cares about a fucking pedophile. I think that they should be put to death, honestly. But
okay, then can you say that about Trump?
Yes, Trump. If Trump is a pedophile, he should be put to death. Honestly. But,
okay.
I think I do have to kick you because you can't say it on live, but I do have to get off the live anyway. I appreciate you coming on and having this conversation. Is there anything else last you want to say before I get off?
I'm just saying that the MAGA people are not a cult. They just think that a lot of the news.
They are a cult. Go look at fucking Charlie.
Hold up. Well, let's let him say his last stuff because I do have to get going.
Sure.
Thank you. I think a lot of MAGA people think that the news is a very dishonest organization. Just how much you might think healthcare is a dishonest organization. We think the news is a dishonest organization, and people do not believe in that stuff anymore. And a lot of people don't believe in politicians anymore. So I feel like Trump is just there to change people's minds, and maybe if we need to go down another route, Trump is the best way to go.
And for the very same reasons that you distrust like typical politicians and you distrust the typical media are the very same reasons in which Donald Trump is literally worse. Like he's worse within every respect. You talk about the fact that you think that they lie a bunch. Donald Trump lies more. Talk about the fact that they manipulate information. Donald Trump manipulates the information even more. Talk about the fact that they are corrupt in every way in which we talked about, in the way in which individuals are corrupt in the context of the government. Donald Trump was, and to a greater extent than the typical politician. So the idea here is that if you are fed up with the typical politician, if you're fed up with the level of corruption that we have within our government, you cannot support Donald Trump because he exemplifies every single one of those things that you hate about this establishment, that you hate about people specifically who are typical politicians, or that those that are in which that are corrupt.
Do you think Donald Trump is a typical politician?
Do I think Donald Trump is a typical politician? I think that he is worse than typical politicians.
Okay, I understand that, but I mean, thank you for having me on. It was a good conversation.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming up.
No problem.
Bye bye.
Alrighty, everyone. I'm gonna get off for today. By the way, I'm just gonna let everyone know tomorrow I won't be live. I'm so sorry, everyone. I love everyone so much. Tomorrow I won't be live, but I'll be back the day right after that. I would recommend to check out my videos. I'll still be posting videos as well. I've got a bunch of content that's coming out, so a lot of good stuff for people to watch. I'd recommend for the 5,000 people here, follow me here on TikTok if you haven't already, and go over to my YouTube. Join the 2.8 thousand people that are on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. Like I'm going to be putting a lot of this content there, so I would really recommend to go check it out. We're almost to 300,000 subscribers. That is literally the place to go find me right now, where I'm going to be putting all of this shit. And if you miss any of my live streams, Go check me out on YouTube. I put all of the whole live streams are there. Plus, I even cut them up into videos. So if you want to go check that out as well, I would really appreciate that so much. I'd appreciate it so much. I'm gonna be getting off right now. Are you gonna go live, Matt?
No. I have stuff to do. Yeah, I was lucky to even do it today. Santana is live though, so let's raise Santana.
Yes.
Thank you everybody
Everyone.
for being on. Thank you to the chat. Thank you everybody who gifted. Thank you, and Parker. Thank you for having me up and text me. The stuff. So, all right, okay.
All right.
Bye everybody. Take
Have
care.
a good
Bye-bye.
night, everyone. Peace out. I'll see y'all later. I do have to get going. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.